Good morning, Streamyard community. Good morning, Daniel, Batal, sir. How you doing? Are you ready to get into YouTube channel reviews today?
I was born ready, my friend. I was born ready.
That's what I'm talking about. So here's what we're doing today. We're doing free YouTube channel reviews. We are randomly pulling people out of the chat. So be cool, be nice with each other. You don't have to spam the chat. Just ask once, and we're going to keep an eye on the chat. And we're not going to waste anybody's time today. We're going to get right into it. Start with the first channel review. Dan, you want to give them an idea of what we're looking at on the channels before you pull up the first one?
Yeah, we're going to be, we're trying to look for some basic channel optimization things to make sure that you put your channel together in a way that the messaging is clear, that when we land on your channels, we understand what that channel is about and what the value of the channel is, why we would want to watch. And we'll be looking at things from everything from your channel art all the way down through your titling, your thumbnail style, and the way you put together your playlist and your homepage. But if you have specific questions, we always tend to pull up people who have a very specific question about a problem they've been running into, as opposed to just look at my channel. So pro tip for the chat.
Perfect. Ready to jump into the first one?
Let's do it.
Let's go. First one up is Sid Min's Cars.
Cyclone Sid.
Cyclone Sid.
Cyclone
What
Sid.
do we got for Cyclone Sid?
That's our pal Paul. So Paul has a channel that he teaches people how to do repairs. A lot of his stuff tends to be, I know he focuses more on Saab 93s. I know that's sort of his specific area of expertise, but he does a lot of different content that ranges with sort of, you can fix cars yourself at home. His whole channel's based on, hey, you could pay a guy, or maybe there's some things you could do yourself to repair your car. So Dee, looking at this channel from the outside, is there anything here that strikes you right off the bat that you notice that he may need to work on? Anything that may be jumping out as something that doesn't quite get his messaging clear? I
would love to see a car in the channel art. Like right out of the gate. I know he says Sid Min's Cars, especially if he's focusing on a particular type of car, but I see two different toolboxes that were actually the same toolbox flipped or reversed. But I'd like to see a car up there, right? So I don't want to think about things. Just boom, show me a car. Yeah. Toolbox on one side, car on another.
Right. Yeah, that's a great thing to catch right off the bat. I do like that he doesn't have a lot of different links way up in the channel art. He's got a subscribe link. That's the auto subscribe link, which we like. And then he's got a donation link up there. I get that. Sometimes people put something up there with intentionality. If you're going to put something up in the channel art as a link, and when I'm talking about the channel art, we're literally mean right up here in the upper right hand corner, links you can add. I like that there's a, if you're gonna trade off a little bit of views to try to drive a little bit of extra revenue, I get that. And I don't think that your channel art is going to make or break a channel in any sense by just putting the wrong link up there. I think the best thing you can do in your channel art is just make it really clear to the new viewer who's just stopped by here for the first time. You want to try to make sure that they can understand in a minute what that is, because we found that most of the channels we've worked with of a variety of sizes from 500 to 5 million subscribers, they tend to get anywhere between 10 to 15% conversion from their homepage. And when we talk about conversion, you can actually track that in your analytics, how many people actually choose to subscribe by visiting the homepage of your YouTube channel. So when you see us start to get a little picky about your YouTube channel, yes, we understand that 85 to 90% on the average of most people are going to choose to subscribe because they found a video out in the wild, what came up in search or came up in recommended. But if 15%, listen, if this was playing the stock market and you knew you could get a 15% return on your investment, you would be all in with every penny you had, okay? Because that's quite a bit. That's good. That's a good amount of conversion. So always try to make sure that you're keeping it simple. Someone lands here, sees it, and goes, oh, I get this. It's about fixing. He's going to help me learn how to fix cars, and give them the ability to instantly decide, yeah, I think I want to bookmark this channel because I want to come back to it. Just scrolling down, I want a quick question for you, Dee. What do you think about these thumbnails?
Well, they're working, right? He's getting views on them, so they're working. But I think that the text can be a little bit difficult to read. I think some of the text is a little bit wordy, some of the text is a little bit small.
Yep.
But they are working. If these are my thumbnails, my text would be easier to read. Bold, like those are kind of bold, but they're not there yet, right? The yellow text with the black border around it just makes it a little bit difficult to read. I might go with something like a Montserrat font, or maybe Impact or Arial Bold or something like that to make them really stand out a little bit more. But at the same time, they're working. Could he improve the click-through rate with different fonts and maybe less words? Maybe.
Yep. I think the one thing that I noticed with what's going on here, this is Paul. His name's Paul. And I noticed this is 3 years ago, a year ago. So some of these are older, 2 years ago. Here's one from 4 weeks ago. We're still seeing that same kind of yellow font of the image. This is a little cleaner up here. The thing I'd watch out for, Paul, is clutter. Watch out when you have, images over a car with your face and then text over that. You've got so many layers that are competing for the messaging that I would say simplify. This is another one where it's layer over layer over layer and layer. At least when you start to get these ones here on black, it's two different pieces. You've got a tiny little circle and an arrow, but it's very hard to decide. Like, I would never notice what that is. Try to, you're leveraging the words in your thumbnail: crankshaft position sensor, crankshaft position sensor test, so that you're leveraging the messaging, but you're not necessarily representing it. I'm not saying all these things are easy to represent. How do you accurately represent, a crankshaft position sensor if you don't know what it looks like right off the bat? But there's always a way. Just try to, whatever you do, try to keep it as simple as possible, Paul. Try to watch out for too much clutter. And if I go to your more recent thumbnails, just to see if you've cleaned it up a little bit, flashing too fast. One thing I'd watch out for is that red text over this blue. Really hard to read red. Not a fan of red. It doesn't do well, especially over things like blue. It gets all muddled and murky and very hard to read, especially when it's condensed down to a mobile device. So I would be telling you something like this would be better with more even a white text, or I even like the yellow text over here on the black jumpstart. I could read when it was over black. So don't be afraid to box something out here. If this part of the car didn't matter, it was this part, the blinker. Directional, whatever you call it, because you're not from the United States. So I got to make sure I use the right words here, Paul. Don't be offended if a knucklehead like me doesn't use the right words. But maybe you could even box this, put flashing too fast and then put the arrow going down if you needed to put a little mosaic or something behind it to let the text pop a bit. But other than that, I mean, I kind of like some of these ones. That's pretty good. Resync, I can tell this is a key starter. There's the car. That's a remote. You're resyncing your remote to your car. That one, I think, in terms of the thumbnail, makes a lot of sense to me. Right here isn't bad either. That's a pretty good in terms of, which ones in terms of readability.
Yeah, in terms of just thumbnails in general, just simplify things.
Yeah.
You want people's eye to go to a target on that image as quickly as possible. I like that you've actually taken yourself out of the thumbnail, because I think that's a layer that just wasn't necessary. People aren't necessarily going there to hang out with you. You're teaching them how to fix a car.
Yeah.
Right. So that's just like one layer that you remove that I think can help focus your thumbnails.
This one right here is so much easier to understand. Exactly. As simple as it is, front seat, that's clearly the front seat of a car. Front seat removal, thumbs up. Right. And then the title is any car, front seat removal, how to remove front seat. So, and it got 216,000 views over the last few years. So that's great. It was real simple to understand. So that's the kind of thing, Paul, just watch for simplicity. And everybody out there, think about how you can really simplify in your thumbnail. Start with an image. If you're going to do the front seat, right? I'm talking about removing a front seat, then maybe just show the front seat isolated by itself out of the car. That makes sense, right? I start getting that image. I think sometimes what people do is they start jamming way too many different images together and then words on top. And it's like, I've got this tiny little postage stamp, literally postage stamp that I'm trying to, put a dictionary in, and I'm trying to put all these different images, and it gets so cluttered that they don't always help. They don't always help exactly the messaging of what you're trying to get across to the target audience that you're trying to reach. So just consider it.
Yeah, and he did mention that the font, I was reading the chat here, the font is Arial Bold. And I just want to say that Arial Bold is one of the ones that I recommended. Lose the border around it, because that can kind of make the font look a little bit cluttered when it gets shrunk down, especially on a mobile device. And I also like how some of your later thumbnails have capital letters in them. With the Arial Bold, that's easier to read.
Yeah,
I know we've been on these thumbnails for a while. Let's find,
yeah, I get it. I mean, it looks pretty good. Jumpstart. You get the idea. But hey, man, but you've been able to drive in the past, as much as close to 500,000 views on a video. These other ones here, I'm looking at really quickly. I try to look at what's connecting more recently. This one right here are your indicators. So they're indicators. I'm calling them blinkers and directionals. I meant indicators. Sorry, Paul. My apologies. Are your indicators flashing too fast? Got that almost 600 views a week ago. And the stuff around it got 300 views. So you go, well, that was a good one. When I do real simple things like, are my indicators flashing too fast? You know, when you start finding those topics that connect, you go, oh, how can I leverage that again? Lock gas tank door cover, you know, that won't open. Locked shut, right? It shows the gas pump. I get it. That one's kind of easy. 720 views. That did pretty well. So I'm always looking at those, you know, where the views are here. This one here, LED, rear indicators. So this indicator thing, this was a short, and then this was the longer version one, correct? Yeah, 337. So that indicator thing did well. So simple things like your directionals, your indicators, brake lights, that is sort of a universal problem that people might run into. Fantastic things that you might want to approach again. And when it comes to putting them together on your homepage, first time here, the best of Cyclone Sid. I'm not against that. This is one of those things. If you're saying first time here, I'm not against you throwing together like a best of list and putting some popular things there. I don't think it's intentional. You're trying to do something that's great. I think that can work. The only thing I don't like about that strategy, and again, it's not that I don't like the strategy, where I prefer personally to lean, it's just my opinion. Someone reading this says the best of Cyclone Sid. I still haven't learned anything from that title about what the channel's about. Okay.
And I don't know who Cyclone Sid is yet. I'm a new person. I just came onto the channel. Who's Cyclone Sid? Why should I care what the best of Cyclone Sid is? However, I came to learn how to fix my own Saab, and there's your second playlist.
Right. You can service your Saab 9.3 yourself. That to me is extremely attractive as a playlist title because it speaks to the value proposition. Sid Men's Cards teaching you to do it yourself. And then you scroll down and you see you can service your Saab 9.3 yourself. Totally reaffirms the value proposition again. So I'm a big proponent of keeping it ultra simple and making it easy for the viewer to understand no matter where they look. That if they glance down first and they just kind of scan past the channel art and looked right at the playlist and they saw first time here, best of Cyclone Sid, like, okay, I can't watch that because I don't even know who's, you know, like Dee said, I don't know who that is. I don't know what it means. So they're searching. It's another step to figure out what this channel's about. And you could easily say, well, look, all the thumbnails show cars. If they just read a little further, that's the problem on YouTube. People move very quickly. They move very quickly. You need to lay it out in front of them. So at a glance, they get exactly what the channel's about and why they'd want to watch a video, watch a playlist, so hit the subscribe button. So the simple you can make that for everybody along the way, that's where I usually tend to lean. But I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong. I just probably would lean another direction. If you had 200,000 subscribers, 300,000 subscribers, and you were talking about the best of Cyclone Sid, and you had, then it kind of makes sense because you have made a name for yourself on the platform and become an authority that people would go, oh, I've heard about this guy, Cyclone Sid. I'd like to check out some of these. What are the videos that people have been interested in and maybe they want to watch? But otherwise, I mean, you're doing some pretty good things here.
Click in on one of those recent videos. Let's see what he's doing there.
Yeah, give me 1 second here.
And by the way, for everyone watching, the things that we're talking about here with this channel and all the other channels that we're going to pull up, this applies to your channel as well. So if you're like, look at my thumbnails, everything that we just said applies to your channel. Channel art, thumbnails, what we're going to talk about here in the description, so on and so forth. Everyone can take action with what we're talking about here.
Okay, simple things that we talk about a lot, right? When I come to a video, the things I immediately look for is I want to see a little white circle telling me that somewhere in the course of this video, there will be a card that comes up because you want to leverage every possible way to recommend more of your content in a video. And I'm not seeing one here at the moment. There's sometimes they don't get served, but I'm trying to see if it doesn't look like you have a card here on your latest video. So I would say, Paul, you're missing. Yeah, it's a missed opportunity right there. And here is one. I like at the end, you have one video you're pushing them towards the how to fix a broken side mirror. I would have probably put that in as a card, even if you put it right about here, so that it said, you know, right when you're starting to get near the end, you could say, hey, if you want to learn how to fix the, you know, broken mirror that fell off, it kind of puts it in their head. And maybe they're like, oh, you know, I've watched most of this video. Yeah, maybe I will watch that one. And if they don't, they get to the end and then they see, oh, hey, remember I asked you about, you know, would you like to see how to fix your broken side mirror? Then maybe you should click here. The like and share, I'm not against, but it's not clickable. It's a reminder. It's okay. I don't hate it, but I like this more.
You know, like here at this point, from a viewer's perspective, you're asking them to do 3 different things right now. And they might choose like, okay, should I give this a like? The like's the least amount of effort. Oh yeah, I can give this a like. Share it? Maybe not. Or should I click and watch the next video? I would focus them to do one thing. I always feel like if you give somebody too many options, you could be taken away from the thing that matters most, which is getting them to click on that next video.
Yeah. And I agree. I mean, and I've said this to you, Paul, I think that you should take the opportunity in the video to do one thing, get them to watch one other piece of content. And I would have leveraged, in a perfect world, I would have put the card there. I would have pushed them towards how to fix the broken side mirror here, side mirror here. I would have come down. You have it here. Repair the broken side mirror with a emoji. I love that. Yep. And you have it here. We're broken this. So you've done 3 out of 4. I probably just would have put the card in there as well. Otherwise, I like what you're doing.
I dig it.
Yeah.
We need a checklist that shows up on the screen here. So
Amen.
Right? Go down the checklist.
All right. Let me see. Yeah. Let me find another one here. Let me check the chat and see who we got kicking around. Sometimes it's easy for me to pull up some of these channels, and sometimes they're harder to find. All right. It looks like we have one right here. Let me grab that. Let me share over here.
It's like the gang's all here today. The gang's showing up. I see Heidi in the house. Paul.
Hey, Heidi.
Tube. Letitia, how you doing? Dana, how you doing? All right.
Let me see. Okay, yeah. So we have the Driscoll Family Homestead experiment. Okay.
Attempts to homestead. Right out of the gate, that has my attention.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Attempts to homestead.
I love this. I love this. The only thing I'm missing is I probably would have said, if I had my druthers, like if I could sit here and go like, all right, I got Photoshop open, I would have gotten a picture of you guys and I would have stuck you here in the upper left or right, choose whichever side you think it works better. I like the green bar allowing the white to pop. That was smart. You didn't just put it over the trees, but I probably would have put the Driscoll Family and then underneath it a little bit larger, attempts to homestead. So that would have got, I mean, it's the same thing, but instead of just being one line of text, and the reason I'm saying that is just because this looks pretty good here on desktop, but if I saw it on mobile, cropped down, would it be as readable? Probably still readable, but it loses some of the effect. I'd rather have at least the faces to join in, and then you've got all this dead space with the trees, all this open real estate. Why not, is it about seeing the trees, or is it more important to get the name of the channel and the value prop, which is it's a homesteading channel. And I like that you nailed it with the attempts to homestead. So it kind of tells us like,
it sets the tone. It sets the tone right out
got
of the
a sense
gate.
of humor.
Like yeah,
that's really cool. But otherwise than that, get your face up there. Maybe just organize that a little bit more. The things we always talk to everybody who's watching this right now or in the replay, Instagram, Twitter links up here. Are we trying to build a YouTube channel to grow Instagram and Twitter, or are we trying to build a YouTube channel to grow a YouTube channel? So consider why those are there. And if your goal is to you just want to send people to Instagram, you're trying to grow your Instagram, and this is just a just in case, thing, then it doesn't matter. But if you're trying to grow a YouTube channel, I would tell you for right now, save that stuff for places like the descriptions of your videos for people who are really invested and liked your video and went, I wonder if they're on Instagram, and they would go into the description. Otherwise, if these links do what you want them to, exactly what you expect them to, people come to your channel and go, okay, they got Instagram. Let me leave the platform. And you leave YouTube and you've sent someone off platform, which is something, even though YouTube won't admit it, they don't really want you sending people off the platform. They want to keep people on platform watching videos so that they can serve them ads. So just think about the intentionality of that. Right here, I am not subscribed 2 months ago, 2,700 views. Why we moved to Nova Scotia from BC. I think that pretty much supports the homesteading, attempts to homestead thing.
So I think the beginning of the adventure, possibly.
Yeah, right. And that's, Dee made an excellent point. Something like that, when you said attempts to homestead, I would probably even add something like that. Why we moved to Nova Scotia from BC, the journey begins, right? So you're saying like attempts, get it in there and bring them into the story. Because if I'm looking at this and someone says, oh, this must explain to us how horrible Nova Scotia is or how beautiful British Columbia is, but it doesn't really necessarily in the title explain anything about homesteading. So you might want to make sure you're referencing the whole experience of the homesteading in anything you do. No matter who you are, no matter what kind of channel you have, make sure the messaging is clear in every available spot and opportunity. If you have a spot where you can write a playlist title, when you can write a description, if you can write a video title, a video description, if you can make channel art, make sure that any spot where you can get the messaging through to the people that you're trying to connect with, use those places, and don't expect everyone to go, well, it's pretty clear once you read the channel art, then scroll down, see the playlist, and then read through the video titles what we're about, because you're asking people to do too many things to get to the point where they understand.
Yeah, you know, I want to go back to the channel art for a second, because I'm looking at the thumbnails here, and they're putting themselves in the thumbnails. If you think about chickens in the thumbnails, like I would love to see a picture of you guys up on the top, because, you know, attempt to homestead. That just sounds fun to me, and I'm going to guess that you're a fun family. I would put yourselves up there, and maybe holding some chickens, right? Maybe holding some chickens or holding some animals. Just get the whole vibe of what's happening on your channel, like wrapped up into one picture up at the top. If you've got children, have, you know, holding, you know, one of you's holding some babies, other one's holding some chickens or something like that. It would really set the tone. Be like, oh, this looks like a fun channel.
Yeah.
Because I see you're putting all that imagery in your thumbnails. I would love to see that in your channel art as well.
Yeah, these connect, like even simple things with you here with the shovel, like you're trying to do something.
Yeah.
Those, like that exactly what Dee is talking about, like getting into it and trying to do something. I will say to you, alignment, okay? Nothing says homesteading like going to Chick-fil-A. No, that's actually not true. That's a complete lie. So don't fragment your audience. People aren't here to learn about Chick-fil-A. They're here to learn about homesteading, and you've got videos about Chick-fil-A. Now, it is Chick-fil-A at home. I'm guessing if I read into this, because it says at home, did you buy it, bring it home, and then try to recreate it? I don't know. But all it says is we visited Chick-fil-A once a year ago. So I'm not getting any of the homesteading vibe from the messaging. And again, you might say, well, once you watch the video, you'd understand that, and we're back into that same rabbit hole. You're making me work too hard to figure out what your content is about and what the value is at a glance, because people are going to be scrolling, right? This one right here, this video right here, we visited Chick-fil-A once a year ago, is going to get served up against something like, here, look at right here. This is my homepage, right? This is me going to YouTube, and this is the first thing that I get served. I have channel reviews live right now. Dr. John Piano, Tom Petty. I've got Ian Corzine up here. I've got Paul McCartney. I've got Nick Nimmin. These are all different interests of mine. So if
what
you
you're telling me is I've got to choose between Nick Nimmin, Paul McCartney, and Tom Petty and Ian Corzine.
Well, there's also Michael Jackson too. So Liberace's in there too. So
yeah,
the options get
Paul
even
McCartney
crazier
all day long.
I'm actually Dr. John with Johnny Winter. Man, it'd be one of these.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Yeah.
Here's exactly what you have to consider. Sometimes people think like I make my content because I'm going to be competing against other people who are homesteading channels or what it makes similar content to you. But the reality is 3/4 of the views on YouTube come from recommended, not from search. That means your content's going to be in an up next on a list of a whole bunch of different types of content, or on someone's homepage and browse up against all the things you're seeing here, all these different videos, right? And you have to stick out based on that person's interest, okay? So if they're interested in Paul McCartney, legal advice from Ian Corzine, Tom Petty, and they also happen to be interested in homesteading, you need to stand out as, hey, homesteading right here, if you guys want to talk homesteading, and you have to grab that portion of their interest and pull them that way against their other interests and other recommendations. So that's why you need to be crystal clear in each thumbnail and in each title. We're talking about whatever that thing is, homesteading, then make sure it screams homesteading and all of that, all right? But I like a lot of the other things that are going on here. There's a lot of family stuff. The one thing I'd say is some of the images are great, but I'm seeing a lot of family. It feels more like, you know, it's Janine gets her boosters. Is that homesteading? Some of this stuff I'm just feeling like, and maybe you're just slowly getting into it. As I get up here, I'm feeling this feels more homesteading. Yes. This feels like family vlog. Yeah, follow my family. This is our family. This feels like homesteading. And maybe that's where you're at. And that's cool, O'Driscolls. If that's where you're at, then you're definitely making it feel more like homesteading here. So kudos on that, because I'm just seeing where they're leaning here. What's performed really well on your channel based on most popular? 26 acres. That's got over 5,000 views. House, the way it's huge acres. You can see all the land and that arrow down house. Now that one absolutely screams, look at us living in the middle of nowhere. Look at us living in the middle of nowhere. So when you start seeing that these two, and this is another thing, D, what else are we noticing about these particular highest performing videos on the channel?
Well, 7 and 8 months ago, and they weren't followed up by something that was similar. Like those
well,
hit.
Yep. You did 8 and you did 7. I like that. But look at that. It's 7 and 8 months ago. Now we scroll down. You've got stuff from 2 years ago, 3 years ago. The upside of this is looking at this. When you really start screaming homesteading and leaving out in the middle of the woods, you're way out in the middle of nowhere. Under a year, your highest performing videos are your newer videos. So all that other stuff, the Chick-fil-A and the other stuff down in here, and the, you know, someone got their vaccine and all that stuff was not connecting. When you start showing yourself, what am I drawing? Eyeglasses here? All I need is a nose and a smile. And there we go. I got the face.
You nailed it.
God, Picasso. So right here is just think about that. And this here, the BC to Nova Scotia from 2 months ago did pretty well too. Why we moved. Again, I think I probably would have, make sure, you're talking about the Cabot Trail, your Nova Scotia homestead. You've got your top performing video. It actually has homestead and the yard tour in it. Leverage the things when your audience tells you that they're enjoying something, leverage that, repeat it, go back to that
repeat it until it doesn't work. Yeah. Keep repeating it. But like the simplicity of that thumbnail and the topic, I don't know if you did this because we're not looking in uploads in chronological order, but I would have just kept going with that theme and trying to find different ways to tell that story because that works. It might still be driving views. If those videos are still driving views today, I would start thinking about how you can expand on like a part 2 to one of those videos.
Yeah. And just stay on target. Everybody out there, really try to stay on target. And I know this, like, one thing I'm kind of picking on you here. I didn't look at the date of the channel. It's a third year in here. You've been here for 3 years. You've got a lot of videos. You've been around for a while. There's quite a few videos on this channel. So this isn't a brand new channel. And you did break 1,000 subscribers. Congratulations on that. That's fantastic. If I go to the about, you've got 54,000 views. That's fantastic too. So you've now been able to monetize this channel. I'm guessing you probably got 4,000 watch hours and all those views. So this is fantastic. You're moving in the right direction, but lean on the things that are working.
Yeah, I will say with the newer thumbnails where you have the red text, I would steer away from the red text. If you're going to use, I think arrows are great. Arrows work. Keep the arrow red, but make your text a different color. Like white would look great on there, or maybe even yellow. Keep the arrows red because our eyes see red first, and you're making your eyes compete against the arrow and the text. Separate those with different colors.
Yeah, and I can read this 26 acres in house.
It's so much
no
easier to
problem.
Right.
And it's the same style, but then I'm like, what is that high pencil? It's just, the red is, I'm not a fan of red. I think people are like red will pop, and it's like, it doesn't work. You got to keep it simple. There's a reason everyone out there probably can read the Driscoll Family in the channel art, but probably you're squinting a bit to figure out what these thumbnails say. But as I showed you before, when we go back to the ones that are the most popular, you go, that second one definitely says house. I can read it. And the first one says 26 acres. So keep it simple, keep it legible, keep it readable.
Red is a weird color, and you want to use red to add highlight to something. You don't want red to be, like here's a bunch of text, here's a bunch of arrows. Just use, like the arrow is perfect for red, or a circle, something where you want to draw attention to immediately. Have one thing that's red if you're going to put red in the thumbnail. Otherwise, it's making your eyes compete for attention, and it makes it more difficult to read. Yeah,
totally agree. But I like where it's heading. I like Absolutely. That. I think that seeing your newer stuff do better than your older stuff means you're getting in your lane. You're getting right in that lane. So stick with that. Leverage the things that are doing well and repeat them. Simplify as much as possible. Keep it easy for the viewer to understand. And stay on target like you have been with the newer stuff. I like where it's heading. I see really good things happening here.
Yep.
Excellent dude. Is this Excellent Dude? We had a comment from Excellent Dude who said, I'd love a tough love channel review. Well, you have come to the right place, my friend.
You asked for
something. You might want to get your helmet now. My issue is that my content solves a specific problem. People get their solution and move on. How do I attract more subs? Okay. D, run with this. What are you seeing? I'm hoping this is the right Excellent Dude.
Yeah. So
I don't know how many excellent dudes there are, but
we've done that with there's one apparently. He's the excellent dude. So here's the thing. If you're talking about people are learning the thing that they came to learn about and they're leaving, that tends to happen a lot with a lot of different utility type channels. If you're doing how-to type content, a lot of people do that, right? They come there to learn how to do something. They get what they came for and they leave. So I had that happen on my channel. I don't know, Daniel, do you have that happen on your channel as well? That happens a lot on my channel. They come to figure out a certain problem. Once they figure out the problem, a lot of people don't come back unless they have another problem. So if you're focusing on something like Microsoft Excel, you know, you're getting people to come in who they need to learn a specific thing about Microsoft Excel. Now, when you click into your videos, Daniel, let's just go ahead and jump right into the cards, end screens, so on and so forth.
Can we, before I just jump over quickly, I'm going to tell you, I like the channel art.
Yeah.
Easy Microsoft Excel tutorials. Nailed it. With a single subscribe now, auto subscribe.
Nailed it.
Hello. Thank you. Perfect.
And I think the thumbnails look great as well.
Thumbnails look great. Let's go right into a video like Dee asked. Let's look at 3 days ago. Start with Excel how to divide formula. Let's look at the most recent one. It's only driven 10 views in 3 days. Dee, what would you suggest looking at that target title topic thumbnail?
Let's see. Excel how to divide formula. Excel divide formula. How to divide it. Well, first of all, in your title, it seems like you're just stuffing a bunch of stuff in there out of the gate, right? Pick a keyword phrase and simplify it instead of trying to stuff everything in there. Like the one next to it, flash fill option in Excel. That's much simpler. Nothing's getting truncated there. Nothing's getting cut off. I don't know if that's a good target phrase or not. It doesn't seem to be getting views. How many videos does this channel have? How long have they been going?
Let me look at the count here. It's not that old. You know, it's not, it's
under a year.
Sometimes the date it's 2020. Yeah. July of 2020.
Under a year.
Yep.
So one thing to keep in mind too is when you have a utility type channel like this, you're making how-to type content, how to do something with Excel. A lot of your traffic is going to be coming from search. That means people go to YouTube, they type in how to do this thing on, you know, with Microsoft Excel, right? That can take a while to actually rank your videos. Like you don't make a video and it just shows up automatically on search. Even with my channel, I've got like 130 something thousand subscribers. It can take months for my videos to start ranking well for search traffic. So these videos, while they might have a small amount of views now, they might end up doing very well a couple months from now. Because you had this one here, I'm looking, I actually got a couple of them that are connecting that are what, 9 months ago, 7 months ago, 5 months ago, right? Those are probably starting to rank. I bet if you looked at your traffic sources on there, I bet it's going to be high search traffic.
Yep. And they're probably starting to get recommended too, because as they start getting more views and YouTube learns more about this piece of content, it understands the relevance, because Beginner's Guide to Microsoft Excel, your highest performing video,
right?
Super relevant. Be careful of using all caps in your titles. It's something that YouTube has said to us. You know, they haven't said they're going to penalize us for it, but they came out pretty firmly and said, we really prefer if you don't do that. I kind of tell people, I'm not afraid of like you capitalizing Microsoft Excel, like Beginner's Guide to Microsoft Excel, to have it pop, right? And then, you know, that'll make it jump a little bit, but having it all capitalized and afterwards, the truncation doesn't seem to be, but there's a lot of capitalization there. So just be careful with that. The one thing I'm noticing right off the bat is your thumbnail style. And I'm not saying that this is definite. Check your, check some of the velocity of some of these. If these are all still driving views, I like this sort of blue on yellow, white on yellow on the green. That the highest performing ones have this layout with the cartoon character, the animated character on the right. And then I looked at your newest stuff. You went sort of in a different direction, more white and simple. I don't think they pop as much, and that's just my opinion. Look at the data and see if your audience is agreeing. These are only getting about 10 views, and maybe your other content started out at 10 views and slowly worked its way up. But just double check it, because it looks to me that the highest performing stuff just has a little more pop. It kind of jumps. It actually really reinforces the channel art colors and everything. It's got a whole branding thing where the colors and the dude right there, the animated dude, really screams like, oh, I'd be like, oh, that's excellent, dude. If I've seen 2 of your videos, I'm going to go, that's excellent, dude. I know his colors. I know the animated character. I get it.
You know, I also, and we're going to get into one of your videos here in a second to see how you're actually structuring that in your description and if you're handing off to other videos. But just because I've recently gone through this, and Daniel's controlling the screen here, so I can't see all of your videos, so you might be doing this. I recently went on a binge to learn how to do more in-depth things with Google Sheets. So I think that you could be missing out on an opportunity here by painting yourself in the corner for just Microsoft Excel, when you also have Google Sheets that can do similar things. So just something to think about moving forward, that you could expand into a whole new audience that you're currently not serving by pretty much the same thing, but by targeting those specific things, because I wasn't searching for Microsoft Excel. I was specifically searching for Google Sheets.
Yeah.
It's something to keep in mind. You could be missing out on an opportunity.
Yeah, we were just in my office the other day. We were sitting down having to do some invoicing templates for some other stuff, and that's right. We were in Google Sheets again too, doing the same thing. So yeah, that's, I think what Dee might be hinting at is as cool as this is, we usually don't tell people that they've niched down too much, but this could potentially be one of those circumstances where you started with Microsoft Excel tutorials, and what you may want to be doing is Excellent Dude might be your your spreadsheet expert or something like that, where you do a slightly larger umbrella and say, well, this is how you would do this in Excel. This is how you do it in Google Sheets. This is how you do it in in Word, or whatever it is, what you name it, Microsoft Office, or and that way you can open up a little bit. I agree with Dee. Just be careful not to niche down so much that you're in an area that you can't expand from. But just quickly asking, let's do Google
Trends. Look at Google Trends.
Let me see who else is doing this on YouTube, if I can spell, and see if they've got some videos that are performing there. Yeah, like, you've got some that have some millions of views from 4 years ago, 400,000. There's some room to grow. But there's pivot tables. What I would do is, one of the things is look at what's beginner's guide. You've covered that. Microsoft Excel, you've been covering that. Intermediate, beginners, learn pivot tables, Excel tutorial. This is a very saturated area where all the top performing videos are learn how to, Excel for beginners, Excel tutorial. Try to find the holes that aren't so small that it's like how to divide. I get that, but it's more like, instead of doing a divide, maybe you should have done a video like how to create a spreadsheet that automatically calculates, adds all the, adds, divides, and subtracts for you as you punch numbers in, right? Think of a bigger thing. Don't just go how to do the divide thing, how to do the add thing.
Can you go to Google Trends? I'm curious, Microsoft Excel versus Google Trends. Because something to keep in mind, unless they've changed it, Excel is paid only, correct?
Good question.
Is it
that
paid?
I don't know.
Where you've got Google Sheets, it's free, so you could be.
There's Excel, and then we can do Google Sheets, and then we can do look at the difference right there, and then we can do Google Docs, or documents. Ooh, if I can spell, you got to know how to spell, right? Is that part of the thing here?
You know what?
Oh, baby,
you could just do Sheets. One that's Sheets and one's Excel.
One's potentially. Well.
But either way, you can see how many people are you can see the popularity of Sheets over Microsoft Excel. So that was my original thought in terms of missing out on a huge opportunity. Excel's down there at the bottom. Yeah,
it's the blue line, and here's Sheets, which when people were, what this lump is from. This is everybody at home from the lockdown having to do their work at home, and everyone started going back out, and they started opening up, places, people going back to work. But still, if you look at the volume, it's much higher. And when that surge happened, that should be looked at. We did not see that surge in Microsoft Excel. We saw it in Google. So that's a really good call, Dee. Like, really good advice right there.
Yeah.
So think about the same thing. Yeah, just bringing it back over and trying to do that. One last thing, the thing we talk about with everybody when we open up a video, when you say, well, people, they learn what they learn and then they leave. Well, did you do something to push them towards something else when they were watching the basics of Excel? Did you, in that video, go, hey, if you liked what you learned about Excel here, make sure you check out this next Excel video where I'll teach you the next level. And I'm sitting right here and I do not see a card popping up from the beginning. That's not a good sign yet, which means you missed opportunity number one. Yeah, not popping. So I'm not seeing it. It's a 10-minute video. And when I get near the end, let me just see what we got going on here. You told people to subscribe. You asked them to hit the bell. You asked them to like. You asked them to do all kinds of stuff. And then finally, after you've told them that the video's over, you said, oh, by the way, maybe you want to go watch another video. So they're gone. You gave them permission to leave, and they did. But you did do one thing that you did put an end screen. Just ask one thing. Everybody out there, stop feeling like the person who's watching this video is never going to be around again, and it's your one big opportunity to say everything that's been on your mind for your entire life. That one time when I was 3 and I was growing up, we went out with my mom and my dad, and we went to the, guys, say one thing. Hey, you like this video? Think about watching this next video. I think you'll like it. I think it'll make sense for you. Don't start saying like and subscribe and hit the bell and don't forget to share and, and just push them towards another piece of content. So I would have had this beginner's guide to Microsoft here. If this is lesson 2, then I would have had that lesson 2 up here in a card before we got to that end, about 80% of the way or more through, so that it popped up, put it in their head. Yeah, okay, I see that coming. And then it would be at an end screen. Do you have it as a link in the description above the fold? No, you do not. Do you have it as a pinned comment? No, as a matter of fact, you have one pinned comment, and it's don't forget to subscribe and be notified. So all these opportunities, you had to push them towards another piece of content when you're saying, I can't get them to watch another piece of content. You haven't tried. This is why. You haven't tried. You used 1 out of 4 opportunities to push them towards another piece of content. And if you're thinking, well, I think I do have a link somewhere down in my description, if I have to click show more to find that, then you've lost me, because you're burying it someplace where I'm not going to find it. So I would tell you, put these things together, create playlists that make sense. Did we look at the homepage? Are there super organized playlists on the homepage that say, hey, just learning Excel, start right here? No,
Beginner's
we got popular
guide to Microsoft Excel.
I've got popular uploads, uploads, shorts, and nothing else. There are no intentionally formulated playlists on your homepage, which is your storefront, saying, hey, if you want to learn Excel, right here, let's go right here. Okay, you got the event, you got the basics down. How to do math calculations in your Excel spreadsheet. Boom, and then you've got all of those in a playlist together, and they walk through one to the next one to the next one, and they're all linking in all 4 places: cards, end screens, pinned comment, link in the description above the fold, and being very intentional about using all 4 places to only send to one video, not 4 different videos. Take them from here, bring them to here. When they go there, bring them to the next one, and do that with your highest performing video. So organize this stuff, my most excellent dude, and see if you can get this in a way that it itself is pushing people towards more of your content. All right. Right. Because you'd be hard pressed to tell me that someone who wants to learn Excel watches one of your videos and goes, yep, all right, I'm a master now, I don't need to watch another video. Right. I don't buy that. I think that people who are trying to learn how to do spreadsheets or Excel, that they're going to need more than one lesson. So if your content does that, then put it together in a way where it helps them walk through that and makes them understand, hey, now you've learned that, there's another thing you can do that I think you want to learn. Let me show you what that is. Push them towards the next video.
Right. Well, and not just the next video, it needs to be the next video that makes sense to the video that they just watched. That's key. So if somebody's coming here, right, you've got a utility channel, you're teaching people how to do things. And again, so a lot of people are going to leave because they came to learn that one thing. But if you have the most logical video for them to watch next, that's your card, that's your end screen, that's your pinned comment, that's the link in your description. It's the obvious video. So you just taught me how to do this one thing. What would be the next thing that I would want to learn? That's the video that you link out to, right? It has to be the most relevant video for them to watch next if you want to increase the likelihood that they're going to click that video. And going back to your end screen, this is something for everybody in the chat right now. A show of hands, type in yes in the chat right now if you understand the importance of the hook at the beginning of your video, right? Just say yes in the chat right now, because that beginning of the video, those first couple of seconds, that's everything. You have to pull the viewer in. You have to keep them watching. You have to get their attention right out of the gate, right? The hook is super important. Everybody talks about the hook, but what people don't talk about is the end of the video. That's equally important, because how the hook can hurt your audience retention at the very beginning. People can click off. The same thing happens at the end when people understand that the video is ending. Oh, the video is coming to an end. I've got exactly what I came for. I'm leaving. So you're going to see the drop at the beginning, and you're going to see a drop off at the end if you drop clues that the video is coming to an end, right? And every little drop off that you have at the beginning and the end, that hurts your watch time. So I think the best thing to do, and I've experimented a lot with this on my channel. I used tons of end screens early on, and I thought, well, how can I get rid of this drop at the beginning, right? You don't want the drop at the beginning, and you don't want that drop at the end. Best thing I found to do is just drop that ending on them without giving them any clues whatsoever that the video is coming to an end, because that drop off at the end can be as harmful as the drop off at the beginning in terms of your overall watch time.
Absolutely.
Just drop that on their head. Don't let them know the video's ending. Don't put any graphics up. Don't, in conclusion, none of that stuff. Just don't give any clues whatsoever that the video's ending, and just put your next video up there. And if you are going to say something, point them to that next video and tell them to click it and watch it. Tell them why they should watch it.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. Hit them like the Wicked Witch of the East with Dorothy's house. Just smash them. Then let them see it coming.
As soon as they know that the video is coming to an end, people start to leave.
They will leave. I've said that 1,000 times. The minute they get a hint that you're giving them permission to leave, they will absolutely leave. The other thing, one last thing I'm going to say here, my friend, is learn Excel in 10 minutes. Learn Excel in 10 minutes. Beginner's Guide to Microsoft Excel. Beginner's Guide. These, if I was skimming through, I would say I'd already seen these videos. So make sure that each video can stand on its own as an independent piece of content. Think of it like a movie. If there's a sequel to a movie, do you ever think about the way that they brand it so that you can definitely see that this is the next part of the Avengers series? That's Infinity Wars. It's different than, you know, whatever comes before or after it. They separate it. They make sure it's not just like exactly the same and then a little part two. Because that's going to make people not understand that this is something different. And if they do see part two, they're going to go, if they didn't see part one, they're going to go, I can't watch that. I didn't see part one. And maybe they get served out in the wild. Part one isn't in front of them. They're going, well, I'm going to choose not to click because I didn't see part one. I'll be lost if I haven't seen part one on Excel. So make sure these things stand on their own. If you're doing Beginner's Guide to Microsoft Excel, and in the one, like learn the basics of Microsoft Excel, right? If the next one is the next thing that you're doing in Excel, then focus on that. Whatever portion of Excel you're covering, put that into the title as well. Don't just keep trying to leverage the same keyword over and over and over again. It's really Microsoft Excel that you're leveraging, right? So just keep that in mind. Let me pull up here. We've got Tinkerman Mick. He's been asking to get pulled up. Mick, let me pull you up, pal. Mick, I think did you give me a super chat the other day that I missed? If I did, I apologize. We were on a different stream with Mr. Matt Keelan. And I think I missed a few, but let's see, Mr. Paul Peck.
I love how many people said yes in the chat about they understand the importance of the hook at the beginning of the video. I love seeing that. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Paul Peck knows. Paul Peck knows. Of course he does. Does Lori. It's just, man, you know, it's so important to just get right to the thing. Just get to the thing. No long intros, no long outros. Get in there, deliver on the promise of the thumbnail, give the people what they came for. And then when you get to the end and you say, hey, if you like what you saw here, I think I got another thing you'd like to see, and get that video up on screen and get it in the card and get it in the pinned comment and linked in the description. If you do the thing right in the first video, higher probability they're willing to watch another piece of content, because they'll go, this was great. I loved it. It just, you know, I thought this was what it was going to be. And that's exactly what it was. It was, you know, it wasn't longer than it needed to be. It did exactly what I expected it to do. I'm satisfied. I'll watch another. This is pretty cool. Tinkerman Mick coming up very close to 10,000 subscribers, my friend.
So
congratulations.
So close.
All right. What do you think of the channel art here, pal?
Fix it or jerry rig it, then play it. I'm confused. I'm guessing it's games, game consoles, maybe. But I like the cartoons. It looks fun. It looks fun, but I'm not 100% sure what's going on here.
And back in the background, I can see there's Xbox, right? So there's some Android back. That
stuff
here
is just kind of whoosh right over my head. It's. I like the channel art, but it's missing some clarity.
Yeah, I wish, like, instead of pointing at each other, because I don't know who the Potato Gang is, but if they had a potato, must be a reference to something that's not working well or something, maybe the unit that's not working. But if maybe they had remotes in their hand or the units and they were playing each other, and it you know, tethered off to an Xbox right here, and I saw the Xbox logo, maybe I go, oh, okay, fix it. And it was like, whatever, get these gaming systems or whatever you're working on, Mick, running. So don't be so clever that you exclude people who don't know who you are, who aren't in on the joke.
It is gaming consoles. There you go.
It is. So yeah, so fan cleaning, and we can see some of the stuff that's done. Again, not a fan of uploads. I am just not a fan of uploads, Mick. Shorts is here because YouTube can't get anything right, and they're showing them on desktop. But I'm just not a fan of uploads. This is another issue I would tell you, pal. A week ago and 4 days ago, you put out what I think are identical videos.
Yes.
You got to make sure that you're serving your audience a variety of things. If I saw that within 4 days of each other in glancing, I would go, I already saw it. Well, no. The last time it was dust problems. Remember, this one's fan cleaning. I'd be like, yeah, it was a yellow word and a white word with the unit in front of me, and it was about cleaning dust. To me, it looks like the same video. So be very specific, Mick, that you're not hurting your ability to drive views, okay? Because this one drove 627 in a week, and 3 days later, this one drove less than, it's like a third of that, okay? Less than a third. Because to me, I think that you've just got they're too close together. Not that you can't revisit it. If one does well, revisit it, but space it out. Don't just keep serving people like, hey, now that you've had your steak and potatoes, we have a dessert menu, which includes steak and potatoes. You go, yeah, no, I just had that, didn't I? I don't want that again. What do you have, like chocolate? Give me something different. Give me some pie, some coffee, something else. Keep it moving in the direction of the other things that you offer on the channel.
You know what? I want to talk about the shorts showing up on desktop for a second. Originally, I thought this was an error, but I'm starting to think this is YouTube's new way of displaying shorts, because they did say that they're going to put it in its own tab. This might be what they were talking about. I haven't got clarity. I haven't gotten any confirmation on that. But I'm starting to think that this isn't a mistake. Here's where I'm having some issues. If you go to your customization tab, and anybody who hasn't added it has made shelves. If you come to the add a section, if you go into your customization inside of the customization tab inside of YouTube Studio, this is where you can put all your featured sections. This is everything that's going to be on your homepage. And the add a section, if you scroll up, you will see short videos, right? So that's what you click. You don't need to make a playlist. Just click short videos. It'll add that section, and then it will put it in. You can place it, grab it, put it wherever on higher or lower on your homepage. But where it says the short videos here, this is only supposed to be, let me see. I don't think it's going to show me. It did have the other day it was showing it as, I don't know if I've tried removing it. Let me see if it'll show me again. Oh, there you go. You just broke your whole channel.
Yeah. Now I'm never going to get another view. I'm never going to get a
They removed it.
They did. It used to have, they did.
A notice.
It used to have a notice, a question mark that said this will only show up in mobile.
There we go.
It's now gone.
I called it.
Got it.
There we go. Go YouTube. Way to break a feature, or way to make a feature and make us think that it's broken.
It was for a while. So now apparently we're going to get shorts.
Oh, great.
Which we now have to rethink. Do we want people coming to our channel and seeing shorts? Now I'm thinking I'm going to put that. I'm going to put that at the bottom. I don't want that at the top on a desktop experience. I wanted it at the top. I don't want it like this, because on a mobile device, it's completely different. They just display as shorts. You can rifle through them quickly. It's a completely different experience. So now there's a whole different thing we have to suss out. I'm going to call YouTube and yell at them. What do you want me to say? You want me to say anything on your behalf, or should I just go there on my own?
No. You can say it all on my behalf.
Dee said that this is stupid. It's not me. If you're mad, it wasn't me. It was Dee.
Yeah.
But the other.
Real quick, do you want to go back to that? This is a great point here. Do you want to show them how to get to that area so they can move their shorts playlist down? Because I agree. I don't think this should be something that's up top here for a desktop experience.
Yeah. So if you go to your own channel, the difference you'll see between your channel and visiting anybody else's channel when you're logged in on desktop, this big blue button here right under your channel art, right up top in the upper right that says customize channel. That's really the easiest way in, is just click that. It'll get you right into the customization tab of your YouTube Studio. And if you can see down on the left here, I'm already in this customization tab. You could come in by going to YouTube Studio first and going over the customization tab and clicking it. But once you do this, it's going to give you your two different pieces of content. One for, they call it channel trailer, but think of it this way: a video that will show for people who are not subscribed to your channel when they visit it, and a video for people who are subscribed when they're visiting your homepage. I like to put something that's high converting, something that really represents what I do, something that's done well on my channel, and go, let me show them someone who's new. Let me hit you with something I think represents what I do well. It's a good representation of what I do. For returning subscribers, I always ask myself, well, why would someone return to my channel if they're already subscribed? My gut is that a majority of them will come to see, is Daniel get something new out? Does Dee have something new out? So I like to put my newest video right up there in the returning subscriber spot, so that they can catch what they might have missed in the last week or so if there was something really good that I think that they might want to watch. And then down below here, as you add these sections, this blue section allows you to add single playlists, things like that. I prefer doing single playlists that are really well thought out. I think that's my personal preference. And then they'll just stack, but these little, you see it's like an equal sign on the left. You call it a hamburger. It's a hamburger bun because there's no meat on this one. It's only
just
two
lines.
It's, just a bun.
Or maybe it's an open. It's a veggie burger. It's a veggie burger icon.
It's an equal sign. And if you left click on it and hold, it'll now allow you to kind of move this, and you can drop the order of them and change them. So if something is like, if I'm saying, you know what, I don't like the idea of that short shelf being up there, let me grab that and move it down. I think it should be out of the way a bit because I don't like the experience of it being up top for desktop. Though I will say most people tend to view on mobile. So just, this is one of those things we can do. We can figure out what we think the best content strategy is. But that's how you do it. This is how you're going to lay out that homepage. So when you do come to your homepage, you got this featured content. You'll have all of these well-optimized videos and in specific playlists with nice, rich descriptions under them that are really easy for the people to understand what they're about. That's how you set up that homepage.
Hey, Daniel, click on one of your own shorts there for a second. I'm curious if they've changed anything with the player since now they're forcing it on desktop.
Let's see.
Nope,
doesn't look like it. Nope, still looks like, there's me typing away. Yeah, it looks like not a whole lot.
Yeah, okay.
It's always something new. So Mick, sorry, here we go, looking at my channel studios. Mick, I like, I think you got a little bit in your messaging you can straighten out. I think, let me just see how things are performing. Recently when you were doing, this is the same thing. Everybody out there, do the same trick. Really look at what's working on your channel. Mick has done a few shorts here. This one drove more views. It was a short, 43 seconds, 32 seconds. Got a few more views on that one. But how to clean dust problems, 627 views, I thought was strong. You should have waited longer before you came back at that one, left a little space. You did 2 shorts, but I think it was too close. I think you needed, and it looks too similar. So that if I feel you're still sort of separated and just shown the fan on this one, or done something to really make it feel different, other than really revamping that exact same look, because it's just not enough to break it up for me personally. When I go back, Mick, and I look at most popular. Look at that, almost 900,000 views on how to clean your iPhone speaker. So see, that's part of it. Like let's look at some of your strongest performing stuff. This is sort of a fix it, jerry rig it, then play it. So it's more than just games, because here's iPhone, here's Xbox, here's iPhone again, here's Xbox, here's iPhone screen, here's Xbox again. So it's looks like phone again. So the highest performing stuff has been different versions of the Xbox, iPhone, So, I think part of what we're learning here is that Mick really does show people sort of the basic, the tech in their lives. It's not about reviewing the tech. It's really about how to fix it, clean it, change the screen covers if something's not working. So those things that we're all used to seeing around your phone, your gaming console. I kind of like this niche. I don't know that it's well explained in the channel art that you're telling me, Mick, when it says fix it, jerry rig it, then play it, I'm like, well, that's got to be games, or is it a guitar, or is it broken keyboards? Right. You should be really saying how to, this should really be screaming to me how to maintain all of that common tech that you have in your life, your gaming consoles, your phones, your things that you're carrying with you all the time that everybody has. I'm not here to tell you which one's the best one. I'm here to tell you how to make sure they're working right, how to clean them, how to change them, how to get new screen covers on, how to the remote's not working. I'll show you how to fix. So all that tech that's in your house, maintaining the tech you own or something like that should really be like, oh, I get it. I get what this is. Mick's the guy who's going to help me maintain, fix, clean all of the tech that I have in my house already. Not necessarily trying to sell me anything. He's just showing me how to make sure the stuff I have keeps working. And if it's not working, how I can fix it, clean it, make sure it starts working again.
Yeah, and the imagery up at the top of the cartoon characters, I think those are really cool. But I would consider maybe having holding all these different things, holding the phone, holding a tablet, holding a gaming console, holding a bunch, whatever it is that you're going to fix, like holding a bunch of that stuff to really kind of give us the idea of what is actually happening. Oh, they fix all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Because when you say then play it, I'm thinking gaming consoles.
Yeah.
And then your top video is a cleaning your iPhone speaker. So there's definitely a disconnect there.
Yeah, let me give me 1 second here. I'm trying to find one other channel. I think that's it. Now, Mick, you've had success when anyone drives close to 900,000 views. You've done things that are right. So listen, yep. Don't learn from what you did right. This is so crystal clear with the bottom of the phone, with the speakers and the circle and the arrow. That's such a perfect. There's a reason that did well. How to clean iPhone speaker, best method. Boom.
And again,
infinite. Simple. So simple.
Super simple. And again, the different colors, right? The red is used for the highlight, and they use something else to bring attention to that red. Yep. Right? If both the arrow and the circle would have been red, that wouldn't have worked as well. But because you have those two different colors, it works.
Great picture, nice and easy. I know what this is the minute I see it. This is what you want to make sure that you're working on, is really focusing on. And when you've repeated this, the circle, the arrow, left speaker isn't working. You've done a similar thing. That did well. How would you remove your screen protector? Here's the screen. What you can see, it's starting to crack and chip. Here's the credit card. Wrong. I get it's, and that drove 81,000 views 7 months ago. So when you simplify and do those things, I think that's really effective.
Click in on this top video. Let's see if he's missing out on opportunity here.
Let's find out.
Because that should be linking out to something else about iPhones.
Yeah. Okay. So right off the bat, we do have a card from Tinkerman Mick going in too many directions. They are both two phones, cleaning your speaker and charging port. Is your iPhone speaker not working? Mick, I would tell you, choose one, right? Choose one, choose the stronger of the two, the better performing video of the two, send them in that direction. And then when I get to the end of your video, you did the same thing. Too many options. Like, hey, what do you want for dessert? Let me bring out an entire plate. It has all kinds of things and quickly choose. And a lot of people, it's too much, just clutter. I'm all set. Where it's much easier if you said like, now you get an Xbox One here. So you offered two different things here, right? Because the other ones, these other two cards were both phones. When we had the card, you offered a phone and a phone. Let me hold on a second. You offered both phones on that one. And then we got to the end and you said phone and Xbox fan noise. So now you've given four different options. So if four different people come through and one clicks one card, one clicks another card, then another person clicks this end screen and a fourth person clicks this other end screen, four different people just sent four different traffic signals to YouTube. Okay. So YouTube has learned very little from those traffic signals. If you had just had one card, one end screen, and they both went to the same video and four people came through and two of them clicked the end screen and two of them clicked the card, then all four different people sent the exact same traffic signal back to YouTube. People who watch this video tend to go on to watch this other iPhone cleaning video. Then YouTube can do something with that data because they go, people tend to watch this other iPhone video when they watch the first one. Why? Because Mick intentionally pushed them in only one direction. YouTube can take the traffic data and go, why don't we start recommending that other iPhone fix clean one too? And let's see if the next viewer is willing to click it. We'll put it over here in the sidebar, or we'll put it in the up next when this video ends. And that's what YouTube's going to do. It's going to automatically pull up another video that it decides is the next one. It's deciding how to clean this speaker. But guess who that's from? 5 Minute Tech. Not you, my friend. They're pushing it towards another channel, and you already had how to clean this. You could have been pushing another portion of how to clean or how to fix another portion of the iPhone. It's pushing them towards something else because it hasn't learned the one video connection. And when I scroll down in the description above the fold, do you see anything in there?
Different channel. You went to the different.
Oh, sorry. I went back on my bed. I'm sorry. I clicked the video. Can I go yell at them too?
Yeah, get it.
All right, left speaker not working. All right, I'm going to give you this one. Mick, you did. You had left speaker not working. You got it right here. And then we go down for the pinned comment, and we get almost 10K subs. I'm going to pin that. What did that do? Missed opportunity. So you had left speaker not working. I got to go back and count here. Left speaker not working. Xbox One fan knows. Clean your speakers in charging. let me go back here. Let me review this again.
You know what? While you're
Yeah.
counting that, I'll go back to the end screen for just 1 second. In terms of strategy, think this through. So somebody just clicked on this because they want to learn how to clean their iPhone speaker. So even if you only sent them to one video, that video is clean your speakers and charging port. Why? You just showed me how to clean my speaker. So I would think about how to clean your charging port as a standalone video, or how to replace a broken screen protector on an iPhone, right? You know, they came in there on an iPhone, right? Because you already told them how to clean their speaker. So just in terms of strategy, try to put something there that's going to increase the likelihood that they're actually going to click on it, instead of, well, you already taught me how to clean my speakers. I don't necessarily need to watch that.
Agreed. Yeah, it's just bouncing around, Mick. And this is everybody out there. Listen, everybody, I would honestly tell you, really think about the strategy here, right? Don't get so wrapped up in talking about your subscribers. And, you know, the most important thing you can do in any given video is get that person watching, right? So when you're building your channel, we're like, let's just make sure that the thumbnails, the packaging, everything really is simple for the viewer to understand. But once they're watching that video and they're interested and they're going through, the only thing YouTube is thinking about is, what can I serve them next to keep them watching? So all you should be thinking about is, what can I serve them next to keep them watching? Not, can I flood them with so many choices that they just end up letting YouTube pick the next video for them? Be simple, be consistent, and be intentional by saying, just like Dee said, if you've got one on how to clean the speaker, then get the next one to be how to clean the charging port while you're in there. You can clean the charging port of this phone too. Let me show you how to do that. And link that at the end, and link that in the card, and link that in the description, and link that in the pinned comment, so that you're doing everything possible to leverage the opportunities to push that viewer towards another piece of singular content that's relevant to that person's interests.
And you just said something here that I think is the takeaway for the stream. If you learn nothing else about the stream today, it's this: figure out a way to keep people watching, right? Keep focusing. I forget exactly how you worded it, but you said, you know, find ways to keep people watching. Like, that's the key. That's truly the key. Keep people watching. Get them to click on one video. Keep pointing them in the direction you want them to go, instead of sending them out to 4 or 5 different options for them.
Yep.
Focus them to where you want them to go next. All right, who's
100%.
up next?
Let's see. We have a channel. This name is great, by the way. You can pull that up. Hooked by Robin. Hooked by Robin crochet tutorials, which is fantastic. And I love the channel avatar, the channel icon. You got the little Minecraft dude there, all, you know, crocheted, which is fantastic. I can see an example of what you make. I like the you know, this is even kind of cool too. I don't always love certain you know, the way people use too much cursive and it's hard to read, but the way this is done with the yarn, this works. I love it too.
Love it.
Yeah. The one thing I might offer to you, Robin, is think about taking just this word hooked and put it in like red. So that red yarn, not even the hooked by, just so the hooked jumps out, because what can happen is hooked by Robin, seeing as hooked by is 2 different words, and you've got them linked together, separating that so that the hooked jumps and you see hooked yarn crochet tutorials would jump. So I mean, just the word hooked, I'd probably see if you can change and split it right about there, and do that in a slightly different color. Red might do it right against the white, but I love everything else. I like the cat popping its head.
No, I love this. Yeah.
Really good. Really good. The same thing we tell everybody, Robin. I love that you have an auto subscribe, but then you're immediately telling everybody, go everywhere. Welcome to my channel now. Leave and go 100 places. I'm guessing that this is your website. That's cool. I can understand if you're driving conversion over there, Robin, and if you are doing, if you got sales behind it. She's actually at 266,000 subscribers.
She's at the size. I think she's okay with that.
I'm less worried about these at this channel size. I'm going to take that one back. I didn't see how big
she knows what
was.
she's doing. She knows what she's doing.
I'm going to say that you're okay now, because you probably are growing all of these different sizes. So once you get to this size, I'm okay with it. I eat my words.
Eat those words, shove them down your throat.
Crochet puff stitch mile a minute scarf, 6 months ago, 351,000 views. Fantastic. Love it. It's a crochet. It leads right with crochet. Great piece of content to have here. Goes right into one of the look at these thumbnails. Look at that. Look at that. Look at this.
Those are gorgeous.
I love it. I love it. And look at the views, 91,000 views in 2 weeks. This is really good. These are beautiful.
Yeah. Good work.
And this is really fun. Now, talk about eating my words. I hate when people put uploads, because it's like uploads is the default playlist where they just put your newest video one after another in no particular order. They don't connect well together. I just hate it when I see uploads, because it's just thoughtless, right? Because that can't be, because playlists can show up in search and on people's homepages recommended. But look what she did. She put new, fresh uploads, right? So it immediately catches my eye. And because it's all crocheting projects, this is the one example where I would go, I've been to this channel. I'm one of the 266,000 subscribers. Does she have any newer projects? Because I've done I did some 2 months ago. I came back to Hooked by Robin, and I want to see, does she have any new projects? And I might even switch that. You know what? I might even say like new, fresh projects instead of uploads. But I like the new. I like the approach. She went, this is the newer stuff. If you've been following along and you want to dig into some newer crocheting projects I've done, go right here. And I dig the way she did that. It wasn't best of. It wasn't any of that. It makes sense here for me, where it doesn't make sense on other channels where it's just randomly regurgitating different videos that don't make sense together. All of these make a ton of sense together because they're all crocheting projects.
Yeah.
Love
it. Those are great looking thumbnails too.
Super good. No wonder she's got 266,000 subscribers. How old is this channel here, Robin? I want to see how old you are. You got 14 million views. You started in 2014. I don't know how long you've actually been conscientious, intentionally putting on videos on your channel here. Line, please. But this is really great. Almost 15 million views is fantastic. You've got a ton of content up. Look at how good these look.
Click on one of those videos.
I'm gonna pick. Let me see. This one's doing really well for her. The one she just put up, the origami or the amagurumi. Wow. It's not. It's amagurumi. I can't even say it. It's this. Let me skip.
Daniel, can I just say that getting YouTube Premium is going to be the best money you're going to spend on a monthly basis?
I do have it, not on this account.
Oh, okay.
I do. I do. Yeah, I know. I do. I have it. You know what I like right off the bat that I'm noticing? Robin, good job chaptering these on these longer videos that are 31 minutes long. You already got them chaptered. Yeah. That's fantastic. Which means for any of you guys who don't know that, if you create a video that's longer, you can go down and you can actually create these timestamps by physically just putting in the time of the video, and YouTube does the rest. So you have to start with 0:00. So think like a clock, right? 0:00. You can put the intro, or you could put the name of the video here, would work as well. Right. And then at every timestamp, if you're following through your video and you go, okay, here's my video, and whatever, 1 minute and 41 seconds in, I started talking about something else, right? Well, she's got it right here. 1 minute and 39 in, she started talking about the beginning of the pattern. The pattern starts. So she put 139 pattern starts. You can write this in a simple WordPad document and Notepad. Just grab it, build it just like she did, starting with the 00, put the different timestamps and what happens there, and drop it into your description, and it will automatically add these chapters, these little broken up line segments. And you can see here, see how it's starting to show. It says pattern starts. If I click on that in the upper right, it'll actually show me all of the different segments of the chapters. I can see each chapter individually with thumbnails that it's pulling from that section of the video. Really, really great way to make it easy for the viewer to go, past that, I know how to do that. I want to learn how you did the keyring attachment. That's the only part. I started doing this. I need to come back to it. And they can find it easy. And this can also help your content be found on Google, especially if you're doing how-to tutorials, anything like that. Things that answer a question, resource utility stuff can be found really easy on Google and be used as rich snippets right on the homepage of Google if your stuff is chaptered and really addresses just one segment of a specific problem and answers it well. So I love everything that's going on
Before you continue, I just want everybody to look at the live show that's happening right there. Dee's Saturday Sampler, the quilt show. I've been found out.
I'm looking. Dude, what are you multitasking?
What you guys don't see right now is the overhead camera and my hands, what they're doing. I'm multitasking right here. I'm running a quilting live stream.
Let's not talk about what your hands are doing off camera.
I'm quilting.
Quilting, right. He's crocheting again. Just crocheting.
Back to Robin. Back to Robin. Okay. Yeah, I also want to say from a production standpoint, I love that you're doing this over like a blue background that's super vivid and super
sped
colorful.
up.
It's you have like the contrasting color, right? The blue with the green yarn. You've taken the time to do your nails. Like it's lit well. Like you're doing all of this stuff that needs to be done to make something really eye-catching. I think it looks amazing.
And she did like really intentional, like when she gets to the part where it's like, I got to show how to put the key ring on, I slow down. But the part where she's jamming through parts of it where it's just moving quickly, like some of that stuff was sped up and moved faster. So like she was just really smart about the way she puts these together. This is really great, Robin. I really like what's going on here. The only, you know what I should have done? We should have been picking on you like we do everybody else. I didn't see a card. We're fans of cards. Robin, we're real fans of using every available opportunity to push viewers in another direction. And the 4 places are cards, end screens, link in the description above the fold, which if you actually go to tons of ads though, man, I'm getting crushed with the ads. If you actually go into YouTube support and look up the definition of suggested traffic, it defines part of suggested traffic as videos that are found by links in the descriptions of other videos. So that's a great way to improve suggested traffic. Not saying that you need it, you're driving a ton of views, but we always can do a little bit better. We always want to make sure we leverage, especially when you get in this many eyeballs on a video. Absolutely get a card up there. Absolutely. And I don't even hate that you've given options here, but if I were you, instead of watch next or you may also enjoy, you're big enough that I would probably do a watch next. And if you say you may also enjoy, get your stuff into a playlist and leverage an entire playlist of a different project thing. Like this is an entire playlist of how to do, if these are small items, right? These are small items. I've done entire playlists of how to crochet, Afghan throws or something, blankets, right? Then think about doing a playlist because you're big enough. Smaller channels, I say stay away from this. But a bigger channel, people who are super interested in crocheting will sit and watch a playlist that has 2 or 3 projects or a project broken down into several videos over a playlist. So don't be afraid to push them towards a playlist if you feel like that's something worth testing. See this video on exactly how. So you now have a no-sew method. You've got that in there. That's nice. Looking for more origami, a full playlist here. So you went for the playlist choice here. I'm still a fan of, even at your size, Robin, I think push them in one direction. It's not the worst thing in the world, but make your choices of where you want to send them and push them that way. Because even at your size, every time they click something different, you're sending a bunch of different traffic signals that YouTube is trying to understand and put together. So if you send them all the same traffic signal, it's like looking at a room full of people and go, how many people like chocolate pie? 3 hands go up. How many people like key lime pie? 2 hands go up. How many people like, raspberry, whatever, tort? And then 2 hands go. Everyone has a different answer, where if you said how many people here like vanilla ice cream and 90% of the hands go up, then people go, oh, there's your decision. I now know what to do next. I know to serve these people vanilla ice cream because they all like it. And it's the same thing we're doing with our cards, end screens, link in the description, pin comment, is we're trying to send that traffic signal to YouTube so that it knows what to do next. So that when even you can see there's been enough positive things here that when I'm on your channel, right over here in suggested, YouTube is doing the very same thing I just told you about, and they're creating what they call the mix playlist. If you don't know what a mix playlist is, what YouTube is doing right here is it's taking your content and my viewing patterns, because I'm the one who has the screen open, and it's creating its own YouTube-generated playlist based upon content on your channel that I haven't watched, right? So it's going to look at it and go, I'm going to start sticking other stuff you haven't seen and make my own playlist. Isn't that crazy?
Content that you haven't watched that YouTube thinks that you will want to watch.
Based on other behaviors from other viewers who have enjoyed your other content. So we're always trying to leverage those things, right? They're looking, they're going, hey, you started, did you watch the crocheted flower one? I think you watched it for a second, you didn't finish. So it's pushing me towards things it thinks that I will watch that I may not have seen already, or that other people have watched that have done really well on your channel, and creating its own mix playlist. There's actually a formula to do that. Todd Beaupre from Discovery was kind enough to give it to us, and I have to pull it up again. But you can actually control that and use it as an end screen, a mixed playlist. It's pretty cool. But yeah, get the card in there. Yeah, it's pretty weird. But everything else looks good. I would say that you're doing great. You got the pinned comments. So many good things here. Love the channel name. Love the way the art looks. I love the thumbnails are incredible.
Just killing it. Yeah.
And one other thing, everybody out there, look at what she did. Not only is she going for simple, this is what you really need to digest. And Robin, we're going to just put you on a pedestal here. So, you know, if you're not blushing yet, we're working towards it. Here is a simple title: How to Crochet Bavarian Stitch Square Blanket. And what is in the image?
Boom.
An image of a Bavarian Stitch Square Blanket. A great image. Simple, easy to understand. How to crochet Bavarian Stitch Blanket. No truncation. It's not going on forever. This is a great, simple thumbnail that in the image exactly speaks to what is going on in the video. It fulfills the promise. It catches my eye. I see this beautifully crocheted blanket. I see, what is that? Oh, she's going to show me how to crochet this. Oh, it's a Bavarian Stitch Square. That's cool. I think I haven't tried that one. Let me do it. How about here? You know, crochet a ridged round ripple blanket. And there's the ridged round ripple. Crochet the, I can't say it, but origami flower keychain with no sewing. And there it is up. This smart packaging.
The only thing I would recommend on your thumbnails is you do have some thumbnails where you'll put white text on top. Yeah, you knew it. You put white text on top of the white background. And while you do have a little bit of a border on there, I think because you have the colored background. So I would think about maybe not using a white background if you are going to use white text, or if you are going to use a white background, then maybe change, if that text maybe were yellow, that might stand out more and not get lost on the white background. Yeah. But I mean, you're killing it on your thumbnail. So that's just a minor little tweak just in terms of clarity, because my eyes aren't that good when I'm looking at some of these with the white text on the white background. That text gets a little bit lost.
Yeah, I don't know if this is helping. And if we're having trouble reading it here, Robin, then probably on mobile, it's getting completely lost. So, you know, the message here is be super intentional and go, listen, here's another one really hard to read right up in here. So don't, picture's worth 1,000 words, Robin. You don't need another 1,000 words on top of it to try to explain what the picture underneath of it was. These are great images. Leverage the image. Let the title be the title. Let the thumbnail be the thumbnail so that it's got the picture in it. There's some places where it'll need some explaining, but how to crochet these words that I can't pronounce, amigurumi flower. Please help me on that one. Just showing me these two images, I can see that these are made of yarn. You didn't, and I can see your hand in here shows a little size, so I get a perspective. Perfect. That's all you needed to do. You didn't need all the crochet flower. You didn't need the words there. You needed them here. They helped. But you didn't need them up here.
Well, you can see the contrast difference because she's using look at the bumblebee down at the bottom and then look over the jellyfish keyring. You can see those two thumbnails. The text is so much easier to read.
Yeah.
Right. Because you're using contrast in order to make the text show up. But again, nitpicking here, these are working for you. You're nailing it.
We are totally nitpicking on your 400,000 viewed video from a year ago. But listen. I'm one of those people that I say, if it ain't broke, don't break it. So we're really nitpicking as you move forward. If you notice that
your audience better than we
do. If you made this one and you said, that's weird that this one only did 42,000 views, but the ones around it did 84,000 and 102,000. What's different here, Robin, between this and this? These two here and this. The pop of the crochet. I glance and I see these massive crochet projects that have no words. I can see a little logo up there, but the project needs no words. It's there. It's vibrant. It kicks my butt because I see it. How to join yarn invisibly. You're wrestling with how do I get that? I would have rethought this thumbnail. Because I'm not saying that this is a bad target. Maybe this is the kind of target that would never drive the kind of views that a full project will. Your data would tell you that, but I would tell you that this thumbnail, in terms of being impactful, doesn't pack the punch that the ones around it over here do. Super, super powerful ones that are just really. The more you start leveraging a lot of words and smaller project images, it seems the views are a little lower. The more you seem to go, let me just show the thing. That's when we're seeing these big numbers. They're all big numbers, but these are cute. This one didn't do quite as well. That could have been the Puff versus Stitch. Maybe that's the target. But these big projects that are super easy to understand what they are, really powerful, driving a lot of views.
So Robin said something that I want to talk about here. She says, I'm noticing that more in I guess she's talking about the actual white background and the white text. I'm noticing that more on your screen than mine. Super helpful. Okay, so here's something that some of you might not be aware of. different monitors, different computers, they view things differently. Different images have different color profiles in them, depending on how you made them, the color profile that's in them. So everybody sees images a little bit differently. So it's always a good idea when you're making thumbnails, and if it's like, well, that's kind of close, kind of makes sense, look at it on a friend's computer, look at it on a friend's phone. You know, you're gonna find that Androids look different than iPhones. iPhones look different than, you know, Windows PC. Apple computers view things differently. It's because of the color profiles. It could be because somebody has their monitor, the contrast is set higher, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of variation when it comes to how people are viewing images.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm a like meathead. I actually have like a $300-$400 monitor spider that's, you know, goes on my monitor, calibrates it, and it's the spider one that actually like gets, so every month I recalibrate them, so when I think does this need red, my monitor is calibrated in a way that, yes, I actually do need more red, not just that my monitor doesn't have enough red in it itself. So I wouldn't push you that far, but an easy way to do it is do that. Like, take your thumbnails and look at it on different phones, different computers, and kind of get an idea of what it looks like. Think small. An easy way to do it is even on your own computer, shrink them way down. Just go, all right, like this is about the size you're going to see, you know, the size I'm looking at. I'm on a computer screen, but looking them on, shrink them way down and go, is that readable? I mean, is it really readable? And if it isn't, you know, a simple one like there, Robin, white on white, it's just one of those ones. I know you put a little outline. Just go like, yeah, that's probably not the right choice there.
Robin, with a channel of your size and the kind of views that you're getting, I don't know if you have TubeBuddy, and if you do, I don't know if you have the Legend package. And if you don't, I would, at the very least, I would get it for 1 month. So you could do A/B testing on your thumbnails, because I'd be really curious to see if your audience responds better to images with text or without text, because it's something you can find out with the A/B testing tool. You can figure out which one gives you the most clicks, which one brought in the most watch time, so on and so forth. It's a great feature to really fine tune your thumbnails, and at your size, with the amount of data that you have, you can figure out really quickly what type of thumbnails your audience responds to the best. Only thing is, I would, if you're going to use the A/B feature, I don't use that when I first upload the video. I let the video breathe for a little bit, and then I start doing the testing. I never publish the video during the A/B testing.
And why? And why is that? Tell us why, D.
Because I made that mistake before, where the video or the thumbnail that didn't perform the best ended up being the first thumbnail. So I lost the potential velocity that the video could have had, right? And it swaps it out every day. So the worst thumbnail ended up being the one that was shown first, and it was quite a it was a big difference between the one that was better.
Yeah,
so
and one of the things,
I could have gotten a lot more reach with that video out of the gate.
When you're first putting up a video, one of the things you'll notice is that you drive a lot of views right off the bat. You know, usually because you're most engaged. People who have been engaging with your content recently are going to be the ones who are more likely to click. So it's much better to let a piece of content level out where it's driving. Okay, the thing's a couple weeks old. It's been driving a consistent amount. I personally won't touch if I think a thumbnail was good enough out of the gate, I let it sit for at least 30, 60 days, let it level out. And when it gets level, then I test the thumbnail, because I go, listen, there's no newness to this video anymore. It's just sort of, this is what it's doing every single day. When it's sitting driving consistent traffic over a period of time, then I go, now let me try changing to see if I'm seeing any change in the CTR and the amount of views and the average view duration for that video. I will change a thumbnail right out of the gate if I notice this was a good target. If I were Robin and I put out a video on like a brand new blanket, and we know blankets usually do well on her channel, and all of a sudden she goes, well, this doesn't make sense. I put 2 blanket videos out last month. They drove 80 and up to 100,000 views in the first, month. I put one out today, and it's hurting. It's struggling to cross 100 views. Something's not connecting. I don't know what's happening here. So you think that's where you think immediately, I don't need an A/B test to tell me something's not connecting. People are choosing to skip it. Try a different thumbnail right off the bat. But if you got something that's up there and it's kind of cruising like you normally expect it, but you notice later on it sort of plateaus and doesn't move, that's where you want to, after a few weeks or so, think about, man, maybe I can spice that up. Yeah. We got another one here.
Yeah, real quick. She also said, I think I started using text because everyone else was. Okay, that's a perfect example of when not to use text, right? Because you want your thumbnails to stand out and not look like everyone else's. And there's something else you could do here, something to experiment with as a test. I think your thumbnails look great. You have an amazing eye for color and what looks great. But I would take those thumbnails, and I don't know what you're actually making these in. It could be Photoshop or Infinity, or it could be Snapseed. I'm not sure. but I would boost up the saturation just a little bit on these thumbnails and make them pop just a little bit more, make them a little bit more vibrant. So when your thumbnails are shown next to other channels that are like yours, your thumbnails stand out the most.
Yeah.
That little extra pop. You don't want to overdo it, but just a little bit more color to make yours more vibrant than your competitors.
Yeah, even in here, I'm like, you can see how the colors on this flower just have a little more pop in the blues and the reds and the yellows than it does on this one. So yeah, absolutely. Don't be afraid to push a little bit and get them to be a little bit exaggerated. I think that can be a good thing. But we're being so super picky right now. She's like, shut up.
But you know what though? Like this is the type of channel that I love looking at because sometimes those small little tweaks can make the difference between her going from 200-something thousand subscribers to 500,000 subscribers really fast.
Huge. Yeah. And that's, and Robin, that is
90,000 views to like 200,000 views really fast. You know,
the difference being, he just made an excellent point because of the size of the channel and the amount of views that you can drive. If you are able to change the thumbnail and get a 1% increase on that click-through rate, those are huge gains. That is literally going to equate to tens of thousands of views because you improve the click-through rate, which means for every time you improve the click-through rate, you also improve the average expected watch time per impression. So everything comes up with it, and YouTube goes, this is an even better video than we thought it was last week. And all you did was just kind of improve the packaging a bit. Boom. Now you're going to start seeing huge gains where someone who only drives, 100 views on a video, they change things, they get an extra, 1%. They're like, I got 101 views. So big difference when you got high performing videos like this, where those little subtle tweaks can really reap huge rewards, rewards. All right.
All right. Who's up next?
We have, let me see if I can find it. Driving with Miles. You in here? Is this Miles? I see you, Miles. There you are, pal. Okay. Run with this, D.
All right, let me load it up here. Driver's Ed, lessons for the road of life. Okay, what's going on here? Is it literally Driver's Ed, or is he giving life advice? Give me 1 second. Scroll down. Let me see what's going on. He's literally giving. Okay, he's literally giving driver's advice, which is cool. So scroll back up to the channel art for a second. Driver's Ed, lessons for the road of life. So your value proposition is you're giving lessons for the road of life. That confused me, right? I understand that it made sense to you. It seems kind of clever, but right away I'm thinking, okay, is he giving life advice or is he literally giving driver's advice? And it looks, looking at your uploads here, you are actually giving driver's advice. So I would put some clarity in there, letting people know that you are literally giving driver's advice. And you can come up with a clever way to write that, but just make sure it's super clear so I don't have to go, what's going on here?
Yeah. And I'm also a little confused with, you started with Driving with Miles and then went to Driver's Ed. So I'm confused. It's almost like I went, okay, welcome to KFC and Taco Bell. Like, wait, well, hold on. What are we doing? We got 2 in 1. Are you guys merging together? Because you've repackaged this. It still has to do with driving, but I would much rather see you say Driving with Miles and bring that up into the channel art. Cause I'm looking to try to figure out what this is. It's like you're trying to say too many things all at once. You're Driving with Miles, and then you're trying to say, oh, well, what it is, it's a driver's education channel. Okay, well, then go with that. But then you went, no, that's not enough. I need something clever. Lessons for the road of life. And that's where you lost D, because it got Driving with Miles.
Because D's not very smart.
But listen, everybody out there, listen, sometimes you look at something and you go, well, when I have a chance to sit here like with Daniel and Dee and we're dissecting it, I get what it is. But you have to remember that people in the scroll are just zip, 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 zip. What is that? I'm looking real. They're in and they're out so fast. They don't take the time that we're taking to try to understand something. So you need to nail it immediately. Driving with Miles, and I would have gone with putting the name of the channel up in the channel art, because that's your channel art, right? You don't go like, hey, this is the new whatever. This is the new McDonald's Big Mac or whatever, whatever they're trying to advertise, the Travis patty, and then you get up to the top.
The Japanese Angus burger.
The Angus, right? The tumbling rocket burger from China. You don't say it's one thing and then go up top and then call it something else, right? Because that gets confusing. Just tell us what this thing is, what the channel name is, and what the value prop is. Yeah.
So Driving with Miles.
I see driving already, so I automatically go Driving with Miles. Okay, I get that. Okay. I think that works. Driving with Miles.
You know what? Let's workshop this here with everybody in the chat too. What could Miles do to simplify his channel art to let people know he's helping people with driver's education? Right? Let's see what people can come up with here in the chat. Because I think driving with Miles, you're off to a great start. And by the way, it looks like he's using Snapseed to make his thumbnails. It looks like those are Snapseed.
Yeah.
So Mike, if you're doing all this on your phone, my channel,
call him Mike.
What did I call him, Mike or Miles? I'm sorry, Miles. Well, my
Mike,
apologies, Miles.
Listen, Frank, let's get
Miles,
serious.
Miles, if you're doing all of this on your phone, because it looks like your thumbnails are made in Snapseed, I do have videos over on my channel that's linked down in the description. I've got a bunch of different videos on how to make thumbnails with your phone. Yeah.
I think, I'm kind of feeling like if this whole driver's ed lessons for the road of life, like I agree with that. I think lessons, the road to helping develop your driving skills. I love that one, right?
Look at this, helping develop your driving skills. I love that.
Anything that's the road to perfection. I think that doesn't really tell me driving. It just says the road, like it's clever. One of the things I always say is don't be so clever that the people don't get it, right? The road to safe driving. That's better. I like the road. I don't know if you need the road though. I think this is all about, I always say this, instead of being clever, what is this channel about? If I took you aside, Miles, and I said, I don't want any clever hooks. Just tell me, you have a channel. What's your channel about?
Right.
And you'd say something like, oh, I teach people how to drive a car. Okay.
There you go.
How can you easily put that into your channel art so that you're saying, helping people learn to drive, driving with Miles, helping people learn to drive, or teaching people how to drive.
Helping develop your driving skills.
Helping develop your driving skills. Is it for people who are just learning how to drive, or is it people who already know how to drive but maybe need to be better at it? If it's just learning to drive, then I would lean on that, helping people learn to drive, right?
Full disclosure, I failed my first driver's test when I was 16.
Get out of town.
So,
really?
I hit a cone, smashed it, done. Yep.
Well, that cone probably had it coming.
It did. I hated that cone.
Stupid cone. And then you've got a lot of signs up here, U-turn, that I kind of get, but then I'm thinking about the crop, and this is probably half cut off somewhere in here on mobile. So then it gets weird, like why are the signs all cut in half? Another problem I have here is like, welcome to my slightly dysfunctional driver's ed channel. Now go to TikTok. I don't quite understand what that's about. I'm a big fan of Miles trying to keep people on platform, especially when they're smaller, and only sending them off platform when you get to the size of, Hooked by Robin kind of size, where she's really just crushing it, and she starts sprinkling in, hey, if you like what you're seeing here, I also have other platforms you might want to follow me on. For you right now, which congratulations on over 2,300 subscribers. It's Fantastic.
Paul Peck, learn how to drive with Miles.
Learn how to drive with Miles.
That's good.
But I like that. Learn how to drive with Miles. And that may all you need to have up here. You may not even have your at that point. You may not even need to have your channel name. Learn how to drive with Miles. Right. I'm sure there's plenty of silly puns about Miles, M-Y-L-E-S and M-I-L-E-S, and I'm not going to go from and try to be too clever. I just want to keep it simple. I just want to teach people how to learn how to drive. Let's make sure. I think you had it at driver's ed, but it's so sterile that I wouldn't read driver's ed and go, man, I can't on a black on white and go, boy, I sure am going to be invested in this channel. It's like, I want to feel like, well, why would I watch this driver's education channel as opposed to another one? So the driving with Miles is real, learning how to drive with Miles. It's like, oh, that's this guy Miles. And there's Miles. I would rather have you in the channel art, not all of those signs, so that I can see maybe you in a car, like leaning out the window, smiling, like, I'm learning to drive with Miles, or maybe you have someone else in the car with you and a student, that you would have to get permission to make sure that their image could be posted on there. But you know what I'm saying? Get something that really visually screams, I teach people how to drive. So that should be you. We get your face. We get the idea of being in a car and learning how to drive. And maybe there is a driver's ed car that has you in it, and then has the thing that says, learning how to drive with Miles. And that makes a ton of sense. And get rid of the TikTok and the website. If it's doing conversion, I'll accept it. But the TikTok definitely, I don't think should be there.
So Miles, one thing about driving people over to TikTok, and I'm reading the description here on the top video. Scroll back up, Daniel. Right there. So in the description with driving with Miles, you're trying to drive people over to TikTok. So here's what I want to mention about this.
Just looking at what it says here.
Don't send people off of YouTube unless your goal is to grow that other thing off of YouTube, right? Or if you're sending people to your website because that's how you get students and you're trying to make money that way, that's fine. But just trying to build another social media platform while you're at this size, I don't recommend it. However, TikTok is really good. So if I don't know what your TikTok size is, but you can probably put a link to your YouTube channel in your TikTok profile. You can definitely do that and send people back over to YouTube. But at your size, I would not send people from YouTube over to TikTok.
Yeah, let YouTube be YouTube, let TikTok be TikTok, and then build both platforms. Don't try to, to try to leverage another platform and go and try to get people to switch. It's like standing in McDonald's, walking up to people and go, "Hey, would you like to get a Whopper? You should come over to Burger King. Let's go get a Whopper over there." They're like, "I'm here at McDonald's. I'm going to buy something here." So you really want to think about the platform they're on. People tend to get invested in the platform. People who like YouTube, they go to YouTube. People who go to TikTok, they go to TikTok. People who go to Instagram, they tend to hang out on Instagram. I have my son tell me all the time, I'm an old man, I shouldn't be on Facebook. So it's just, people, they gravitate towards what they gravitate towards. So really try to build out each platform as its own thing.
Be intentional where you're sending people.
Because it's good, because tomorrow your YouTube channel, YouTube could go away. And if you spent all that time trying to use TikTok to build YouTube or vice versa, then they're too intermingled. Like grow on TikTok organically, still teaching people how to drive and leveraging whatever it is you do there that talks about your experience and the conversation you want to be in. So when people get to know you on TikTok for that guy Miles who teaches people how to drive, then they know you from TikTok, and whatever's happening on YouTube is independent, and you've created what Roberto Blake would call being platform agnostic. You exist in different places for different people on different platforms, and you're successful on each without all of them being codependent on each other to go, well, I'm sending traffic from that one to that one to that one. Grow them all. Just be on all of the ones you want to be on, and then grow them.
More importantly, it's a negative signal to YouTube when you send people off a platform.
Yep.
Above all else, right? You get people onto your channel, into your videos, and people go, "Oh, he's got TikTok." Poof, they're gone. Somebody just left YouTube because you sent them off platform, and they see that.
Yeah. Well, it's also just
to keep people watching. You want to keep people watching your videos and not necessarily send them off platform, unless that's your business strategy.
It's an ineffective method. I don't know any TikTokers that, me personally, and most of the people I know, when they tell me about a TikTok that they saw, they don't usually say to me, "Oh, I found this TikTok on YouTube." Unless it was someone who was reposting their own stuff and it happened to be a TikTok and they're watching YouTube and they hold it up on YouTube and go, "Well, it's a TikTok, but they reposted it here." I never have someone hold up TikTok and go, my girlfriend loves TikTok. She never shows me something she's seen hysterical and go, I found this in the channel art of some other YouTubers and he sent me over here. People they stick to their platform. So try to do the same. D, thumbnails.
Like I said, there's Snapseed thumbnails. I think with the colors that you're using, okay, I do like the idea of yellow because yellow kind of has that caution vibe and you're talking about driving. So I kind of like the yellow, but it's not working. It's kind of cluttering up the images. What I would consider, if you are wanting to use this style, I would consider like maybe splitting your thumbnails in half. So one side you have a picture of something that's relevant to the actual topic, and the other side you have your text. But putting this color of text on top of your thumbnail, on top of the actual image, it's a bit cluttered. Even though the font size, it's bold, it's easy to read, it's just that black and white on top of the images is a little bit difficult.
Well, I'd say the middle word isn't. Like driving here is very hard to read with just over the background. Student is disappearing up here. So a lot of this isn't working for me. The words that are black on yellow with the box I can read, but control the what?
Right. So what's happening here, he's using Snapseed to make these, and this is a Snapseed pre-made font layout.
Yeah.
So like if you need to be careful when you're using these for this exact reason, because there are keywords in there like driving that are getting lost, because if it did have that background on it, then it would work. So just be strategic about how you're building these up if you're going to put them on top of your image so words don't disappear.
And again, uploads, past live stream, popular uploads, none of that speaks to your value proposition. Your proposition is teaching people how to drive. I would be sitting here getting rid of all of that, and I would be making playlists that say things like, how to parallel park, right? And then you have, learning how to parallel park, and you say, I've got a bunch of different videos. One is how to pull up and back in parallel park, how to parallel park when you're between two cars might be one video. Another video might be how do you parallel park when it's, there's a whole lane of cars and there's one open in the back. Just pull in straight, but it's simple things, break it up, different parking techniques, how to, parking etiquette while in a parking lot. Make sure you're looking both ways before you back up, and you make sure you're, all those things, so that you're talking about parking, a whole thing about how to learn how to park a car. Maybe you've got a whole other one that's like etiquette for driving on the highway, how to get on a highway, how to get off the highway, how to change lanes. Those could all be videos that are teaching people, taking that onto the highway where it's higher speed. Give me all those playlists. So if I'm going to learn how to drive, what are all the things I'm thinking, Miles? I'm thinking, okay, how do I basically start to learn the car? So you give them like one that's like these are the basics of a car. There's steering wheel. There's, the difference between an automatic and a manual, right? And you start going through it and you start learning how the basics. And each one of these videos teach you all the different gears. If I have a car that has, PNRD21, what do those mean? So you teach people all the gears in an automatic, and you go through. So all of these different things. So these playlists talk to me about the things people would want to know if they've never driven before. How to outrun the car. Oh, there you go.
Charlie, come on. How did I know that was going to come from Charlie? Right? Of all the people, I knew it was going to come from Charlie. I was waiting for that.
Right. That's an advanced. That's day 3.
Day 3. Smokey and the Bandit out here. Yeah.
Oh God. But yeah, that's what I would definitely do, Miles, is try to get, and everyone out there, we always talk about this, the messaging, trying to put things together. I'm always looking to see what's been connecting. Let me look at most popular. He's got 178,000 views from 4 months ago. I don't know if those are organic views, Miles. I'm going to pretend that everything here I'm seeing is organic. I don't love these thumbnails, but how to drive through a car wash is a really interesting title. How to drive through. Yeah. That's one of the things I think about. Like, man, I never thought about that.
11,000 views on that. Look at that.
Yeah. Like if people want to know how to reverse parallel parking explained, right? There's the exact thing I was just talking to you about, except I don't love the thumbnail on this one. It's like you put your face and you put all this text. It's hard to read. So I probably would have gone with an image. Reverse parallel parking. People, if you're trying to figure out what your thumbnail should look like, instead of just putting a picture of you and then trying to jam the title in there, a real easy way to do this is let Google give you a hint. Go to Google and then do something like reverse parallel, if I can spell it, parallel, it's always spelled with, right? 2 L's, is that what it is? Well, yeah. Parking. Yeah. Reverse parallel parking, and then go over, once you found that, by the way, good example of where a rich snippet of a video can be featured on the front page of Google. Right. You're seeing this right here? Right. This Google is now taking this section of this video and highlighting it from YouTube. That's what we talk about text when we talk about rich snippets that are taken from your video. Go to the images tab for that term, and don't steal anything from here, because you don't want to use anything you haven't gotten permission for, but start looking at what images start showing up for what people think parallel parking looks like. Does it look like a line of cars, a car coming up and going into the empty spot? Does it look, this is too text heavy, but does it look like, just start scrolling. Does this look more like parallel parking? Start looking at, does this look like parallel parking from the top? And start seeing if there's any images. This here kind of looks like he's trying to back in, but try to find, that's a great one. I feel like that's me every day, but try to figure out what image really screams, like this is the one a little bit better with the arrow going in. So in a thumbnail, maybe it would have only been this with a little more color. Right. So think about, what does that look like, instead of going, I know what reverse parallel parking. Why do I have so many of me up here? God, good Lord. It certainly doesn't look like, now mind you, this is a short, but you went ahead and made a custom thumbnail for when it's being served anywhere outside of the short shelf. Just think about that, because I don't think parallel parking looks like you smiling in a car with your face kind of cut off and then a ton of text just basically stuffing the title back up there. Figure out how those things work together, because if I'm scrolling quickly, I'm just seeing some guy smiling in a car. I'm not going to read. I want to see this kind of stuff. Lane control, car off the road makes more sense to me. Driving in the USA, tip, you can see the car crashed off, like there's tips for probably not crashing, starts to make more sense. So thumbnail wise, I would say to you, my friend, really, almost all of these are you smiling, and I get that you're trying to put yourself in there as a branding element, but branding elements don't just have to be you always stuffing your face in there and putting a lot of words to go, oh, I know what a thumbnail is. It's my face and me jamming the title back up there. Think about how you can effectively, because if that worked, then all of your new videos would be driving a ton of views. And when I'm looking at your new videos, I'm seeing 20 views, 27, 9, 11, 16, 12, 11. So there's a problem here in terms of connecting with your newer content. It's not driving the kind of views you want to drive, all right? Now, some of those are, what's your publishing schedule? A day, 2 days, 2 days, 2 days. How often are you publishing? One thing I want to talk to you about is, here's another thing. People out there, keep in mind that every time you publish a video, YouTube tries to serve that to the people that it thinks are your most active subscribers, people who have engaged with your channel. You've got videos here. It looks like you've got 6 videos in the last 2 days. The whole top row here is all in the last 2 days. So if you tried to put 6 videos out in 2 days, you put out a video in the morning with a driving tip, and then by the time I turn on YouTube, you've got 2 more videos out. YouTube, let's say I do like your content. YouTube serves me both of those videos. I can't click 2 videos at once, so I choose one. I have just competed for you. That video has just competed with another one of its own brand new videos to win the click. One wins, one loses. You've automatically set yourself up to compete for impressions. Don't do that.
I just had this conversation yesterday. I was speaking to someone over on TikTok. They've got like 3 million subscribers on TikTok. And over on TikTok, that sort of thing works. You can just blast out content over there. And they've come over to YouTube and they're trying to do the same strategy. They're uploading 5 shorts per day. And they were asking, well, my shorts aren't really getting anywhere. Nobody's watching them. And I was trying to explain that, like, you're competing against yourself, right? You're competing against yourself. And if you're not unchecking the box that's notifying your subscribers, the subscribers you do have are getting 5 notifications per day. Nobody signed up for that. Nobody wants 5 notifications per day when you're uploading.
Yeah,
it's too much. There's a thing called viewer fatigue as well, where people just seeing too much of your content. Yeah.
So really try to figure out your pace, Miles, and everybody out there. Think about what your schedule's going to be for publishing and being consistent, and then try to find that pace. So you put up a video, you let it get some ground, it gets moving, it gets put in front of your most active subscribers first. They click and watch, and then YouTube says, okay, this looks like it might be a good one. It starts serving it out to some of your less active subscribers, and it starts moving out to similar viewers to the ones who have already watched it. And as it moves out, then you can drop another video in there a day or 2 later and go, okay, now I'm going to drop another one because the other one's already moved out. It's already gotten past any of my immediate audience that would have clicked and watched right off the bat. Now I'm safe to drop another one. It's probably going to go out to my most active subscribers first. The one that I put out 2-3 days ago has already moved out to a larger target audience that YouTube's trying to see if it can find a home with. So, just think about the pacing. Pacing is super important. It's not that you can't dump a lot of content, but the only channels that do really well by dumping a lot of content is like, the WWE channel, where people are already invested in this stuff, and they'll dump tons of content because people will go to the channel and consume it. Yep.
Right.
NBC, CBS, where they're dropping a bunch of news stories where people are trying to catch up and digest the stories they want to see. Big media outlets can do that. Small channels trying to find traction are going to have a lot of problems competing with themselves for any kind of impression, while YouTube is still trying to figure out what this channel's about and who the right target audience is, and is this the right viewer I should serve this to, and now which one do I serve? And so you're knocking yourself out of contention. Try to avoid that when you're small, okay?
Yeah, in regards to pictures, there are some free resources online like pexels.com. I believe it's spelled is it P-E-X or is it P-I-X-E-L-S?
Pexels.
Pexels.
Yep. Pexels, I think it's P. Yeah, I think it's P-E-X,
I believe.
Yeah, let me go over here for a second. Pexels.
Is it P-E-X-E-L-S.com, I think?
I believe so. There's a free one right there. This is a good one for finding any kind of images for free that you want to look up. What are we looking up today? Driving?
Cars. Yeah, driving.
Let's do driving. Okay, so here's some driving images that you could steal. How to, safety precautions in a car, things like this. Any of these driving images that you want to try to use, you can use any of these for free. Another big one is Pixabay, P-I-X-A-B-A-Y, which also has video up here. These are all royalty-free images that you can use. So if you can say safe driving. Let's see if that gives us anything over here, right? So there's all kinds. Well, that would not be safe. There's all kind of car crashes, different things like that. You can put in things, drivers education. Let's see what it gives us, and just start putting in different words that you can start thinking about what images. Apparently, it's only for school buses. Driving. And just see what gets pulled up, and you can sometimes find better images than just yourself over and over again of like, oh, let me get some pictures of cars driving.
How to avoid kangaroos. There's your image right there.
This is the one.
There it is. Yeah.
This is the one. Well, this one would fit perfectly with the how to outrun the cops. Or maybe this one as well. Don't do that. Please don't put that on your channel. You'll definitely get demonetized. But yeah, there's all different things that you can find. How to teach your dog how to drive is a good one too. But there's different images that you'll be able to find from different sites for free. I personally like using stockadobe.com. I think their images are better, but you have to pay for them. But there's some free assets out there you can use, like we just said, Pixabay, Pexels, both very good. I can leave this one. Oh, by the way, we haven't had a chance yet to formally thank the wonderful people here at Streamyard. We are using their software to stream this live stream here today, and we are on the Streamyard channel. If any of you guys are interested in pulling off a live stream that looks something like this or exactly like this, make sure down below you'll see in the description that you can actually sign up and start using Streamyard to live stream today. And if you haven't thought about bringing live streams into your content as a content creator on YouTube or even some of the other platforms, this is definitely one of the easiest ways to do it. It doesn't cost anything to sign up for free. You can start live streaming right away, and the paid versions start giving you more access for more amount of time to stream, some more pro features to integrate some other things. But you can do this exact same thing we're doing here. Invite somebody, share a screen, and start live streaming nice and crisp and clear like we're doing today. So Streamyard, thank you very much for having us on today. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and actually you can use the free package if you're just trying to figure out how to use it. You can stream up to 20 hours for free per month.
That's wonderful. 20 hours a month.
20. I don't even stream 20 hours a month.
I don't do anything 20. I barely breathe 20 hours a month, D. Come on now. Let me see. Let me see if I can find another channel here. I can't.
Who's up next? Who do you got?
Yeah, let's get. Okay. I think I got one here. Yeah, I've got how about Kindly Canine Training? D, run with this.
Kindly Canine Training, bringing balance to packs everywhere. Training videos, product reviews. I like that. It's kind of wordy, but it works. Bringing balance to packs everywhere, I'm not so sure about, but if this were mine, I would probably strip it down to Kindly Canine Training, training videos, and product reviews. I don't know if the bringing back, that's going to be a creative choice on your part. I don't think that's the important part here. I think training videos and product reviews is probably going to be the more important thing. Dan, you have something to add?
I think the thing that I usually think about, I mean, product reviews is fine. I think that's a good thing, but there's probably something there that's the word I'm missing is where instead of like bringing balance to packs everywhere, I think it's behavioral thing. So I probably would have said, canine behavioral training and product reviews, something like that, where you bring the word behavioral. So that really what I think that's probably, if I were to scroll and go deeper, I bet you there's a lot of stuff about behavior. Yeah, there's aggression, success, socializing. So that's that kind of thing. I think the word behavior is missing here. So, canine is up there, Kindly Canine, and just get the word, dog behavior, behavioral training. Like words that don't need to be here, I like to eliminate. Do I need the word videos on a YouTube channel to remind me that this video's here? Not really. I don't,
behavioral training would have been good for that. Behavioral training and product reviews. Yeah.
That's where I would have gone. So, I try to lose, but I always think about this, Kindly Canine. I look at someone, if I walked up to someone and said, and someone asked me like, hey, do you have a YouTube channel? Yeah. What do you do on your YouTube channel? I bring balance to packs everywhere. I think that person would look at me and go,
right.
And I don't, what do you mean? What do you mean? Packs of cigarettes? What are you talking about? Are you a juggler? Juggling balance to your pack? You're trying to not smoke as much or just balance out the addiction? So don't be, again, I've said this twice already, don't be so clever so that people who don't understand what this is about they're not in on the joke, right? They don't get the cleverness of it. Oh, it's dog. I get it now. Keep it simple, especially when you're 139 subscribers. You're just trying to find some ground. Let's keep it super simple. And then when you get a little bigger, you can kind of, you might get known for certain things. When you get like dog whisperer size, when you're those kind of people, then you can start leveraging some of the things that might be a little more clever or might be stylish to what you're doing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You. But I think I like, what I love about this? Big pictures of dogs.
Dogs.
Big pictures and kindly canine training. I like the name, kindly canine training.
Yep.
It speaks. I get it right. I love channels where the name, if you choose to go with like a branded name, like he's not going with a he or she, it's a he. He's not going with I'm using my name. He's leveraging like a brand name. He's trying to create a brand.
I think, have we reviewed this channel before?
We
reviewed a canine channel before.
Possibly.
I don't know if this is like part 2 or not.
Maybe this is we may have done this. You have a much better memory than I do.
Yeah,
so if we did do this before and we're coming back, let me see. I'm actually seeing a comment that said, I have taken yours and Dee's advice and would love to know if I'm on the right track with the revised channel. So yes, this is the second time we've looked at it.
Okay,
Dee,
I thought so.
You know what? Dee, you're pretty good. You're pretty good. You're not so bad.
The crazy thing is I can't remember anything that matters. Like if it's important, I cannot remember it for the life of me. But stuff,
Dee, did you take your heart medication this morning?
Oh, I'll be right back.
After I'm done looking at this channel that we've definitely seen before. Okay, so it looks good. I like what's going on here. I'm not necessarily a fan of, and I'll tell you right off the bat, of canine training channel intro video. We know we're on the channel. Please don't explain to me that this is a channel intro. What I'd rather have you do is I would much rather see a high performing video that has done well, that shows exactly what you said this channel's about, teaching people what should be behavioral training and product reviews. Give me something that's like a strong performing video right here. I'm not subscribed. Don't do it. You don't need to tell me. I don't need, I'm going to use all the same examples over and over. I don't need to walk into McDonald's and have someone at the front door say to me, hey, welcome to McDonald's. We serve hamburgers here, French fries. We have soft drinks. We have milkshakes. We also have breakfast. And if you walk up to that counter, you'll be able to buy those things. I'd be like, kind of got that. I saw the pictures of the burgers. I don't, can I get to the counter and start ordering and get to the thing? And when you do these long, these channel trailers, I'm just not in some circumstances they work, but in general, my advice, and this is just me, I really think get right to the thing you do well. If you make videos showing people how to, train dogs, help them, kindly canine training, show me the training so I can go, what is this thing? And you're right on it, showing me the training, and I get it. I go, oh, this is all right. I'm in. I like this.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of channel trailers. It doesn't make sense because you're already on the channel, and most people are going to find your channel through watching videos to begin with. So they've already found one of your videos. They're clicking into your channel homepage to see what the rest of your channel has to offer, so they know what's going on. Yeah, I'm not a fan of channel trailers. Never have been, never will be.
I like some of the playlist titles down here, dog training tips and tricks, but there's no description on your playlist. Remember, people, treat your playlist like a video. Get a nice, optimized, easy to understand title, and then get a good, strong description underneath it that makes a lot of sense, that helps explain to the viewer exactly what you're covering in this one. Is it dog training tips and tricks? You're teaching them how to actually do tricks. He's sort of upside down flips, or is it probably more like behavioral stuff? So make sure that's really well explained. The description can help take that simple title and get another layer of dimensionality to it. Dog training fundamentals, I kind of really like that too. I think that's solid right here, but there's no description. I'm also seeing that you have how to leash train. You have all these videos like showing up in different playlists, which isn't a bad thing, but especially on your storefront here, right on your homepage. Let's try to give as much variety as we can, and let's keep things, if you're going to put playlists here, let's make sure these ones are really powerful. They're showing different content. We're not seeing repeat videos in here. And I don't know how much content do you have too. That might be part of it too. You may not just have a lot of content. It's still relatively new. All right, just see, typically what I would tell you, pal, is think about the fact that a playlist that's going to show up here is going to have 6 videos. All right. So if it's going to show you 6 videos here, just go, I'm going to make a few playlists with just 6 different videos in each that make sense, and try to get 4 or 5 of them up here. Like even this one that has 4, I'm still cool with that. It still looks pretty full. K9 product reviews. That's where you're doing your product reviews. The thumbnails, Dee, what are you seeing?
They're hard to focus on. They're hard to focus. Some of the text doesn't work. The contrast isn't there to make the text stand out. For example, on the one that he's circled, how to and your dog, you've got dark text on a dark background that doesn't work. You want contrast colors. If you've got a dark background, you want the colors of your text to be light. They could be white, they could be yellow, they could be baby blue. I'm not a fan of red, but you want to think in terms of contrast, opposite colors when you're putting your text together. And some of these are kind of wordy. Don't try to stuff your title into the actual thumbnail. Just pick a couple of trigger words, right? So you have like down here at the bottom, the Canine Training Tip Tuesdays. I would completely lose that. I don't think that's necessary at all. But go over to the far right, aggression training tips. Very simple, a lot of contrast there. It catches my eye. And you got great visuals there. So you've got the aggressive dog as well.
Yep. Yeah, I still think there's a weird balance thing here going on, but that one really pops to me. And I actually like over here how to, well, first of all, don't use my, okay? Right. My means me. Say you
Make
or
it about
your.
them.
Take it about the viewer, right? How to teach your dog to lie down or lay down, whatever the proper English is there. And you didn't need any of this. You didn't need any of this. All you needed was a picture of dogs lying down.
Yep.
That would have done it for me. Keep it simple. Don't feel like, well, I have to write all the words in the thumbnail so they know what this is about. No, you're cluttering it up so much that it's impossible to really catch my eye, stop and go, I'm trying to, if I'm interested in trying to teach my dog to lie down, what I would tell you instead is lose all of this dog training stuff and say, and not even how to teach your dog to lay down. Simple. I would have lost the how to. I would have showed a picture of the dog laying down, and the title would have been Teach Your Dog to Lay Down. Done. Yeah, so that simplicity would have gotten the messaging across.
YouTube is smart. I mean, you can put how to if you want, but YouTube is really smart. They're going to know that, teach your dog to lay down. So if somebody comes in and they start typing in how to do that, YouTube is smart enough to know that that's what they're looking for. YouTube's smarter than we give them credit for, that old AI of theirs. Those algorithms. Yeah.
Think also about your targets, my friend. You're a small channel, okay? So like I just said, we're going to go for one simple one. And we could have done, you actually did how to teach your dog to lay down, all right? How to teach your dog to lay down. And you said, well, that's going to be my target. Well, it wasn't a bad target when I'm using TubeBuddy here. There is a video that's ranking in the top 20 with 413 views. I don't think it's a bad target. So, I mean, I like what you did. I like what you did there, but look at some of the other ones that are already ranking. Lie down, boom, and there's a dog lying down. And there's a dog lying down. And 5 ways to teach down. And dog lying down. And see, so start looking at what other people are doing. Sit and stay simple, easy to understand videos that might make more sense to the viewer than all of that heady stuff that you got going on there right now. And then try to think about leveraging some of the other ways it might work. Maybe teach your dog to lay down on command might have been a better target. I don't know. Yeah. I'm always looking at, how well optimized are the videos? I don't see anything in here that's optimized.
Look at the simplicity of not those, the ones up top here. Look at how simple a lot of those are.
Yeah, super simple. But none of these are optimized for that target. Down command, dog, teach your puppy, dog. So these are all semantically similar. This is a wide open target. So even though we won't get into a TubeBuddy thing here, but even though it's telling us, 200 million search results and 5,300 is the gateway video is not well optimized for the target. So think about how to simplify. Get back to those things. Teach your dog to lay down. How to teach your dog to lay down on command. I say this again. If you were speaking to me, and I said, you just tell me what this video is about. I'm not asking you to tell me what the title is. Tell me what the video is about. Oh, I'm showing people how to teach a dog to lie down. Okay. So then it's how to teach your dog to lie down. That's the title of the video. Make it simple for the viewer to understand what it is, the same way as if I asked you what it's about and then go, oh, okay, make it simple. Because this is, again, let's go back. Remember, people, 3/4 of all videos that are driving views on YouTube are not found in search. They're from recommended, which means the video is being put in front of potential viewers who may be interested in it based on their own viewing behaviors. And now you need to make it so simple that when they see it in suggested or see it in recommended, that's what all those impressions are, that they choose to click. Okay. So when you put out a video that's got all kinds of text in that thumbnail and has, like a hash, it's got so many words that how to teach my dog to lay down dog training. It's just so many words. And then it's truncated because it's even longer than it needs to be. So it's a run-on sentence that's very hard to read. And then you've got all this text jammed up in here instead of a simple picture of a dog laying down and instead of saying teach your dog to lay down, I would have seen that and gone, oh, I've been trying to figure out how to teach my dog to lay down. He won't lay down. I'll watch this video.
Yeah, I also want to note that all the thumbnails that have you in them, get rid of you. This is about dogs. Like, I'm looking at puppy training tips, and you've got like you there holding, like, no, find the cutest little puppy that you can find and stick it in the picture there. It's about the dogs. Yeah. It's about their dogs.
Let me see. Where's our pal?
Right. Get yourself out of the, I mean, if you're holding a puppy, that's fine, but get yourself out of the picture if it's just you.
Our pal Leroy over at Animal Facts, when he makes thumbnails and he starts talking about dogs, and this isn't training, he does more of Animal Facts where he compares different types of dogs and things like that. Look at the simplicity. This dog versus that dog. 1.5 million views. Golden Retriever versus a Labrador Retriever. Simple, easy to understand. Alaskan Malamute versus a Siberian Husky. Almost 1 million views on that one. Simple, eye-catching. This versus this, right? Simple. Low maintenance small dogs with a picture of a small cute dog. Easy to read. He chose to put font in the thumbnail, but super easy to read. Super easy to read. 3 weeks ago, almost 50,000 views. So really think about the messaging. It's so important. Everyone out there, really make it super simple for the viewer to understand what your content is about at a glance, not all of this. I don't understand. I get dogs, but the only thing I like in here is the image of the dogs lying down, but I don't know what this is about. Now you have 2 dogs in here. So is it teaching dogs to be friendly, to socialize? So really keep it as simple as possible. You're teaching a dog to lay down, put the title, teach a dog to lay down, get a picture of the dog laying down. Or maybe you're going down.
And don't jams, like, don't overthink your thumbnails to the point where you're like, I've got to put all of this stuff in the thumbnail so the viewer understands what's going on. That's not how it works, right? Your title, your topic, that's going to explain to them what's going on. You just need to pick the right imagery to make that connection where people go, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like your aggression training tips, super simple. It makes total sense. You don't need to stuff all of this stuff in there to try to communicate what's going on, right? A simple image can make that perfect message for you.
Absolutely.
And that's what your title's for as well.
Yep. I'm trying to see if I can find this NBA. Is it Top Shot? Is this it? Yeah. Okay. Next channel up is NBA Top Shot Talk.
That's a mouthful.
That is a
Top
mouthful.
Yeah.
This channel is brand new, just in February of this year. It already got over 2,000 subscribers on it. Those are all organic. Congratulations. That's fantastic. I'm looking at your uploads. If this is also all organic, you're driving 2,900 views, 1,500 views, 890 views. If those are organic, then congratulations, you're doing something right in terms of connecting with people who are interested in this. But I'm going to tell you right off the bat, you are super guilty of what we just talked about. I have no idea what that says. I have no idea what that says. I have no idea what that says. I can do this all day. I have no idea what any of this says. Simplify, my friend. This is the same thing. Everybody, when I'm talking about this channel with Dee, and Dee's talking about the Canine channel with me, and we're all talking about these different channels, you must be seeing the patterns that we're talking about here. The branding, the messaging, keeping it simple, making it easy for the viewer to understand what your content is about. Try not, I know that people think that YouTube is just a search engine, and that's all they get their head wrapped around is, I'm just trying to get the title and get the right keywords. And it's human beings you're trying to optimize for. Yes, keywords are important. If you're going to make a video that's going to talk about, this season's top trade picks in the NBA, then make sure it has NBA trade picks, top trade picks in the title, because that's what the video is about. Those are the keywords you should be trying to optimize for, and find a strategic title that makes a lot of sense. But keep it simple. Not these huge run-on titles that go on forever, that every single one of them is truncated, and every single thumbnail, I have no idea what it's about. There's so many words in here. I would never be able to read this on a mobile device. Dee, thoughts?
No, 100%. You just said everything that I was going to say. Like, you're cramming way, way, way too much into the thumbnail. Your thumbnail is not like an advertisement that you're going to see in a magazine, right? You need to think about, how can I make this as simple as possible when someone is scrolling, and most people are going to be, just scrolling on their mobile device. It needs to be super simple to where you just have a couple of targeted words, if any words at all, or images, to where at a glance, within a flat second, they understand what's going on. Within a second. You don't want people to have to pause and think, and what does that say? Should I enlarge that?
We're picking on you here, so I'm gonna give you some positives to offset the fact that I think your thumbnails are in some need of some help. I love how you're engaging in the comment section. I love that this brand new video that you just did, virtually every single every comment has a reply to it. That's really so important to build the community out when you're a newer channel, really engaging with them, making sure you keep, and it's a pain, trust me, I know, to keep up with all the comments, but you getting in there and really putting the effort in. I think you probably have the same system I have, is like most creators see the majority of their comments come in when the day the video launches. They more come in over time, but you usually see that rush every time you publish. So if you can delegate a couple of hours right when that thing goes live to spend some time, which it looks like you did, really, really, that's just smart, man. That's just so smart to stay engaged with the community. It's just, yes.
I want to address something really quick from the last channel. He just made a comment about what we're saying. He says, I agree about the dogs in the photos. I tried that, and the click-through rate is much better with my ugly mug for some reason.
You do not have nearly enough data to make that decision.
Exactly. You're not getting enough views yet. So at your size, where most of your videos aren't even like passing 100 views, I wouldn't even worry about your click-through rate right now. Just focus on trying to get your message out there as clear as possible. Try to focus everything on messaging, because right now you don't have enough data to get a good indication of what that really means, right? You need a lot of data. There's a reason why smaller channels don't have the data yet, where YouTube's trying to recommend when your audience is online, because they don't even have enough data on you just yet. So just keep uploading, try to get your messaging perfected, work on being a better video editor, work on your communication skills in front of the camera. Once you do start to get more views, then lean into the data more.
Yeah.
You don't have enough right now.
And listen, when you're a small channel and you're trying to grasp onto something that you think is important, you grasp onto single metrics because you think, well, I don't have a successful channel yet, so I'm going to grasp onto these individual metrics and then just use them like, it's like driving a car and like, hey, is that a nice car? And you only talk about the gas mileage. Gets good gas mileage. I didn't ask you about, is it a good car? Oh, gas mileage is good. It makes no sense. Well, what do you mean the gas mileage? Gets really good gas mileage. That doesn't tell me anything. Talking about CTR is the same way. Mr. Beast, you know what his CTR is on an average video? Under 5%. Okay. And I tell people that and they go, well, that's not good. He should change his thumbnails. Because I get like 9%. He gets 5%. He gets 4.7% on billions of impressions. Because what you don't understand is when your video starts doing better, it's put out in front of a lot more people. And a lot of those people are going to choose not to click. And YouTube understands that. And it knows if it's pushing the heck out of your video and your CTR goes down, it doesn't stop pushing out your video because your CTR went down. It says, we know what a video this size pushed out this hard should have for, a relative CTR. We know what to expect. Are people clicking? Are people watching? How long are they watching that video? And what are they going on to watch next? There are so many factors that YouTube takes into consideration for watch time other than just the watch time metric or just the CTR metric. It's a combination of all these factors, and you don't even need to know those. If you put up a video today and you don't look at any of the data other than how many views it's driving, and you put up a video today and in the first 3 hours, it drives 36,000 views, do you need to tell me you need to look at the CTR to figure out if it's a good packaging, good thumbnail? You don't. You know when you've made a video that's connecting with your target audience. So don't get so wrapped up in things like, well, my video with 20 views had a better CTR than my other video with 60 views, so I had a lower CTR in my face. You don't have nearly enough data to make any real decision.
I always like to say, wait until you start to get several hundreds of views on a video before you start even paying attention to that stuff. Yeah. But when you're getting like 20 views, 60 views, that sort of thing, it's just way too early. Daniel, I don't know if you have a number where your clients, where you coach them through when to start paying attention to the data. Do you have a number?
I don't, this is what I would tell everybody. I think it's good to learn the metrics. I think it's good to learn what they are and how, and to understand how to use YouTube Studio. I think that's important. But the one thing that I try to tell everyone that I work with, my coaching clients, is listen, step number one, strong value proposition. Know your value proposition. Step number two, make sure that your value proposition is well represented in all of the packaging and messaging so that you're not making content that isn't in alignment with your value proposition and that it's well represented and easy to understand in every aspect of your channel, from your channel art all the way down to your titles, okay? Work that out first. And if you get that, then you'll see when you drop a video, YouTube, you can go right into your dashboard. And if it says, hey, this video is the number 1 out of your last 10, that's the only real metric you need to look at. Like, it's performing. For some reason, people are choosing to watch this video. Why? Probably because it was a better target. You did a better job on the thumbnail, the packaging with the title. It was easy to understand. And when it was presented to them in any traffic source, they chose to watch it. That's what you should be focusing on. Just look at, this just seemed to have, there's a metric that people always ask me, well, what metric do you pay the most attention to? And I say velocity. And they go, where do I find that? You don't need to look any farther than put out a video and ask yourself, is this video doing better than my last videos? What do you have to look at to figure that out? Usually, any point, you can just look at how many views it's driving. You can look at the amount of comments you're getting on that video. Look at the engagement, the things that are happening with it. You know when you put out a video that's doing well, you don't need some CTR metric to prove to you that the video did well. So think about velocity is the ability to drop a video that connects with an audience relatively quickly. Velocity. And sometimes velocity happens later on. You'll put out a video that had a great title, had a great thumbnail, had a great topic, but you were really small. And it went out to the few people that YouTube thought was the right fit for that video, said, I think these are the viewers that would enjoy this. And they brought the video to them. They went, hey, they did. But it was only 3 or 4 or 20 or 50. And they went, that's cool. We'll do over the next few weeks here. We'll send it out to a couple more people and a couple more people. And I bet you in the chat, if this has ever happened, give me a hashtag yes if it's happened to you. You put out a video in like 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 8 months later, that video just randomly pops out of nowhere. I've had it happen to more than I can count because it took more time for YouTube to gather the data it needed to really understand that video and push it out more. So that's why if you're just focusing on CTR or just focusing on the average view duration or average view percentage, those are important things. But what you should be focusing on making content that connects with your audience, that you've done the packaging right, the messaging is clear, that's true to a singular value proposition. Put that video out and then move on to the next one.
That's perfect. And that plays right in alignment because Ginger says, can you please give us a number? There isn't a number, but you're going to notice, just like Daniel said, when you upload one, you're going to get a video eventually, right? If it's not there yet, you're eventually going to have a video that way outperforms all of your other videos. And you're going to go, okay, what did I do here? This one's much, much better. That's when you start paying attention to things. Why is this video doing better than the others? And then you try to replicate that video. And if you can get another video that's doing better than the others, that's when you start leaning into the data more. But when you're just getting started and you're getting like 20 views, 30 views, 50 views, that sort of thing, you don't have a breakout video yet. You don't know what's happening yet. YouTube doesn't know what's happening on your channel yet. So it takes a while. There isn't a set number. I can't tell you, pay attention to 250 views per video. It doesn't work that way. You need to see what's going to happen with your channel. Look for those breakout videos. That's when you start to lean into your data.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sorry, I forgot passionate there. There's nothing
that was great.
I want to.
That was perfect. That was a great answer.
I want to see everybody here and anybody who would be silly enough to watch us on the replay too. Just to take the time to really think about, who it is you're trying to connect with. Who's the people out there, right? Like, I'm taking a second to try to figure out this channel right here, which is Top Shot Talk, which I'm realizing is about cards, basketball cards. I'm thinking now, because I'm seeing the packages and I'm seeing Top Shot. So this is something I'm a little out of my element, I guess. This might be, or it's because it looks like all packages of cards, new legendary pack drop requirements. So I'm trying to figure out what that is. Is it a game? Is it just card collecting? Is it like Topps cards, player cards? I don't know. But just looking at this, the fact that I'm having trouble figuring that out says something about the messaging in terms of what this channel is. So I'd make it a little clearer what this is. So even that a knucklehead like me would get it.
The channel owner asked if they should go back and redo some thumbnails. If you have videos that are still getting views, for example, you've got 2 days ago 2.9 thousand views. Yeah, absolutely test a new thumbnail on that. I would just try focusing in on the card, you know, as little text as possible. Try a couple of different thumbnail styles on that, because that could make the difference between 3,000 views and 10,000 views.
Yeah.
Right? Like
And-
like you have 2.9 thousand. If you would have had a better thumbnail, you might have had 10,000 or 50,000.
But you know what? In that one, look at all of this is worthless. But then
Right.
the one, you know, half of it that actually isn't, look at the shot of the pack. Bright blue, red really pops. That silver
Right.
pops against the blue, right? Look at how well that pops. It really jumps out. So I would have been leveraging the look of that pack and not all this other stuff. Get rid of all of this. Let the title be the title. Let the thumbnail be the thumbnail. Here's a perfect place where if you want to get a branding play in, if you're in every video, it looks like there's 2 people. Now you may be interviewing someone here, or you just maybe you, or there may be 2 of you. But what I would do is have one of you like grab the pack and go, if you want to do some branding, get it right up close to the camera and hold that pack up. And then, you know, show that special pack off. It's the rare pack drop, then show that rare pack. And then, you know, and that way people see the thumbnail, people who know Top Shot would go, oh, that's a, I know, I love this. I love those cards.
Think about what your audience wants in the first place and show them that. They're not
Yes.
scrolling looking for all that text to read. They're looking for cards. Show them the card, show them the packaging, show them the thing that's going to trigger them and compel them to click.
And look for patterns.
Yeah.
Okay. Pre-registration pack drop strategy. That drove 2,900 views. Rare pack drop coming soon, 2,700 views. How to prepare for Cool Cats Challenge 6, 3,500 views. Throwdown, I don't think you needed the throwdown, but unless throwdown was part of it, I think that seems to be, it almost seems like that's your own branding thing. I might be wrong, but it sounds like a throwdown Thursday is something that's like your thing, but I'm not sure. But rare pack drop Thursday, but it's rare packs and it's relative to the Top Shot. That one did well. So this sort of, when you start talking about trade-in tickets, rare packs, things like that, start looking at those patterns and going, oh, that works well. When I start talking about the rare packs or the upcoming things or things they want to pay attention to.
These are NFTs.
Oh, really?
These are basketball NFTs. What?
What am I? I'm confused.
How do you do basketball card NFTs?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you have to explain. So there's definitely a conversation that we're missing
Good for
here.
you figuring that out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that I would have gotten that. Hold on a second. I'm trying to.
Right. So you're missing this messaging then in your channel art. You're missing this messaging in your thumbnails. If all of your videos are about basketball related NFTs, we should be able to find that out within a glance.
Yeah. I think that's a big thing you're missing. We didn't catch that at all because it all looked like I missed all of that.
Top Shots are NFTs. NBA Top Shot are NFTs. Yeah, messaging on this one. You need to be clear with your messaging. So you're doing great. You're doing a fantastic job. Messaging needs to be.
You're catering to people who totally live in the space and would go, yeah, I know what it was before I saw it by leveraging the Top Shot thing. Make it a little simpler than that. And I think make it clear to people who are kind of interested or thinking about it, or they had a brother that was interested and don't know all the tech, again, don't be so, I've said this before, don't be so clever and inside that people who aren't as knowledgeable about the whole thing, but would definitely be interested in it, don't get it scrolling by. Okay. Because we didn't see any of that. We didn't catch any of that in there. So
I would have never have guessed this was NFT related.
Yeah. So that's what, that's where I would start, but you're driving views. So people clearly, if this is all organic, when you talk about these things, they're in. So once they're in and they know they're in it, they're digging it. So I would say to you, pay attention to things like the link to the videos, the link to the videos, the topics that are connecting. Try to repeat the topics that tend to do better than the ones that don't. This one, like this got so technical. TST at the times, JBB Sunday live show. I don't know what that is. And, it was a stream. I get it, but 890 views. It couldn't break 1,000 views on that stream in the replay from 5 days ago. So, that's not the worst thing in the world. Streams can be tricky, but make sure that you, even when you do a stream, that you're leveraging a target. You know, we're doing a stream today that we're talking about live channel reviews. You know what it is. You want to get a channel review, come to our stream. So think about how you can do things that will leverage the discussion that you're trying to be in, okay? And make sure that discussion is super clear from the outside, because we were lost, completely lost.
Yep.
Hold on one second. Let me try one more here. What time are we at, D?
Well, we are at, well, it's 1:30 my time, so I believe it's 12:30 or 2:30 your time. Is that right? Time zones, people. Time
zones are hard. Yeah,
we've been live for 2.5 hours.
All right, let's pull this one up. Big man in the woods. Been very patient. Okay, this is kind of cool. What do you think of this, D?
Helping you deliver skills for life. New vlogs every weekend. Big man in the woods. I could probably lose the new vlogs every weekend. That doesn't really mean much to me, but helping you deliver skills for life. What type of skills are you helping me deliver? When I see Big Man in the Woods, I'm thinking like bushcraft. I'm thinking survival things. Maybe that's what the channel's about. A little bit of clarity up there, but I like the imagery. What do we got?
I'm seeing down below, be a better scout leader. Make yourself a... That was it. I've never seen a truncated playlist, but make yourself a says nothing to me. So this is how to make indoor campfire scouts, how to make, it seems like it's very scout related. So if it's scout related, my man, Big Man in the Woods doesn't necessarily, what do you use a portable? It seems very scout related with the point of scout leader names. Easy source, the best ever scouting myths ever heard. So I'm assuming when we talk about scouts, we're talking like Boy Scouts, yes, Cub Scouts, the Scouting American Scout League, what are they called, or is it UK? Nope, this is UK. So maybe I'm missing something here. Scout leaders could earn badges.
Yeah, it seems to be very scout heavy.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, up in your channel art, put something up there that's relevant to scouts. It could be imagery, helping you deliver your what's it say? Helping
you deliver life skills for life.
Okay, scout skills for life, something like that. Remove the vlogging part. That's not really relevant.
So I'm just trying to read the description from the About tab. Is I'm a scout leader in London, UK. Okay, so this is in London. In this channel, I share lots of camping tips, advice for scout leaders to help them deliver practical skills as well as skills for life. Okay, so I would have said this. I think it starts to make more sense here because you're a scout leader. So Big Man in the Woods. Okay, I got kind of an outdoors thing, but it didn't necessarily scream to me the scout thing. So I probably, if that's the channel name, Big Man in the Woods, then I did get a vibe. Yeah, it should be like
advice for scout leaders or
practical skills for
scout leaders.
Yeah, for scout leaders or practical, scouting skills and practical advice for, because this is all in the woods. It's all stuff in the woods. It's like camping, because that's what I'm trying to, a lot of camping tips, advice.
Practical skills for scout leaders and campers.
Yeah, something like that. Practical. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I want. I think we're circling the drain here. Like clearly we don't have it nailed down, but make sure that it's really obvious. And there's a difference there, right? Because like camping and then scouts. Now I don't know what scouts are in the UK. Here in the United States, they're organizations for different age groups of kids, from Cub Scouts all the way up to Boy Scouts. You can, that it's like a whole degrees of learning those skills through this particular organization that teaches you, and they have scout leaders. I don't know if it's the same there, so I don't want to infer that it is. But the fact that you say you're a scout leader, I'm assuming you're someone who teaches people these outdoor skills, camping skills in the woods.
He says skills for life is the Scout UK. I think he meant to say
probably branding.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe there's something that's their branding. That doesn't mean it should be your branding. You know what I mean? Right. UK Scouts. I'm trying to see Scouts UK. Want to volunteer, work with young people every day to help behind the scenes. I'm trying to figure out what they do here, what's happening. It looks like a similar thing. UK, it looks like kind of Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, right?
Yeah.
Girl building Scouts. It looks like a similar thing. It looks like it's similar to the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts. So it says Scouts. If this is the same Scouts about us, let me see what they teach. Our vision and strategy. I just want to know what they're saying. Prepared more people with skills for life, supported by amazing leaders. So they're doing skills for life, and I guess that's where you took it from, as you said, skills for life. Yeah, for me, it's I don't think that's a bad thing. I'm with D though. If I didn't know, if I'm on the Boy Scouts or the Scouts website, I know this is a Scouts website. So when they tell me you're here at the Scouts, I know this is about scouting. I know that it's about, right off the bat, it says at the top of this page that they are preparing young people with skills for life. Okay. Then I go to your channel. I don't know that this is about Scouts. It just says Big Man in the Woods. So I'm like, okay, it's a Sasquatch channel. I totally get that. It's about Bigfoot. No, it's not. There's campfires. So, okay. So Bigfoot may have attacked the camp because there's no people. But wait, there's a guy, he's got a lumberjack. He's got a cook. So I don't know if this is lumberjack. I get it that it's an outdoors thing. I don't see
bushcraft. I thought it was going to be bushcraft.
Yeah, I didn't see anything here that screams Scouts at all. So I think that's the missing component right off the bat, is you didn't put it in the name of your channel and you didn't put it into the channel art. So I didn't get skills for life from a real Scout leader. All right. Or something like that would have explained to me, oh, I get it. It's, it's sort of that whole idea that we are aware of, when you're an actual Scout master, skills for life from a Scout master.
A Scout leader gives you practical skills for life.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Condense that down. Because if you're a Scout master, Scout leader, let's get it up there. So that's explained. So that now I get it. Now I see that this is all about scouting. And then it's the skills that you will learn, and life skills. I get it. A lot of it's outdoor skills. It's probably not going to teach me how to do my taxes. Those are important life skills. So just be real specific about what this is, and get it here, because this is when you get down here. It's like, I see, be a better Scout leader. Okay. Well, that totally started getting me to understand the word Scout came in, Scout leader. And I understand it. I don't understand make yourself I don't get that. Fun family days out. Again, your fun family days out. Is that going to make me a better Scout leader and help me develop skills for my life by watching your family trip in Farnham?
This is one of those questions. This is a great question from Going Green Mom. She says, is the channel focused on the leaders or the Scouts?
Well, that's the
great question.
That's the number one question. And it's not even that we need the answer to that question. The fact she asked it means that's the impression people are getting when they visit the channel. I don't get it. I don't get it. Well, THN, I'm here. The party can start. We've been partying. You missed all the fun. We just sent all the dancers home. Yeah. This is the thing I would tell you, my man. I mean, you've got over 2,000 subscribers, over 2,300 subscribers. So congratulations on that. You've got you've been on the platform since 2014. Doesn't necessarily mean that you've been uploading since then.
He says it's for leaders rather than the Scouts themselves.
Okay, so I would bring that into the channel art. Is it Mark? Is that his name? It said Mark, right?
Yeah, it was Mark, yeah.
Mark, yeah. So Mark, what I would do is get that up here, right? Skills to be a better Scout leader. That's the kind of thing. Because if you're saying help you deliver skills for life, that seems like it's more towards the Scouts. So if it's to be a better Scout leader, helping learn the skills to become a better Scout leader. Big Man in the Woods, learn the skills to become a better Scout leader. I'd be like, now I get it. And maybe have this, the Scouts logo up in there that, if that's the same, if I'm on the right Scouts, this kind of a Scouts logo, if you can toss that in the corner and hint at it, or maybe a piece of it to give that impression. Don't know if there's any legality with using it on YouTube, but, just really make sure we understand that. And then the best scouting myths I've ever heard, that kind of falls in line that you'd be talking about Scout stuff. But this is from 4 weeks ago. I would have probably told you, if it's my first time here, this very first piece of featured content should probably reinforce teaching me to be a better Scout leader. And I would have led with trials and tribulations of being a Scout leader. 2,800 views. I don't know if I'm quitting scouting, but talking about the trials and tribulations of being a Scout, something that talks about being a better Scout leader. And then gets reinforced right in that really huge piece of content. And then when we come down and we see be a better Scout leader, I'm like, well, that totally supports the value proposition that we had to wrestle with to get to, but now we got it. What do you see in D?
Same thing. I agree with you. Definitely needs to come down to messaging. Definitely needs some work with the playlists. Just having like me with some dots on it. Scroll back up, for example.
Me.
like that. Like that's not how you put a playlist together. You want to treat your playlist just like you would a video, because your playlist, one, obviously it helps with organization, but those can rank in YouTube, right? YouTube can suggest a playlist. People can find playlists when they search for things. So treat your playlist just like you would with a video, with a good title and a good description.
Yeah. And this is the kind of stuff that, and I'm picking on you, Mark, but you came into our crosshairs, and this is how we are, or I am anyway.
That's how he is.
We have said, it's me. I won't drag Dee down into the cesspool of my existence.
Appreciate that.
But we've talked about this before, like the idea of fragmenting your audience. Like if you're a channel that you say to me, listen, this is what I do, is I teach scouts how to become better leaders. Or I teach people how to become better scout leaders, or how with the skills you need to become a better scout leader. I go, oh, perfect. That's what this channel's about. So when I come here and I'm a scout, I'm interested in being a scout leader. One day I'd like to be a scout leader, or I am a scout leader. This is the kind of people that would be interested in this kind of thing. And I scroll down, and YouTube serves me your family vacation, your day at, the family fun time at the Odds Farm Park. What does that have to do with being a better scout leader? And
right.
And if I do enjoy that video and I watch it, and I'm like, oh, that Odds Farm Park is right down 2 towns over. I've been meaning to go there. I watched that. I enjoyed that video. And then next week I get a video started about the trials and tribulations of being a scout leader. I'm like, I'm not going to watch that. YouTube's serving it to me because they saw me watch another video from your channel, and they go, but you like this channel, right? Yeah, I only cared about the Odds Farm. I don't care about scout leading. What does that got to do with my interests? And you fragmented me as a viewer. You fragmented the audience. So trying to be all things and going, while you're in there on your channel, I'm going to throw a couple things, my Christmas vacation, what we did out this summer. It sends all the wrong messages. If your channel is about whatever your channel is about, gaming, cooking, whatever it's about, if it's about canine training, if all the things we've seen here today, if it's about how to teach people to be better scout leaders, then when you put up a video, your first question before you publish, when you're thinking about making it, ask yourself, does this video help people become better scout leaders? Your family day at Odds Farm Park, I'm going to argue, doesn't. Therefore, it fragments your audience. Therefore, you should not put that video on your channel.
Nailed it.
All right. Now that we beat you up enough, but I love your channel art. I love your channel. It looks great. I mean, I would just change the messaging of it, but the imagery, this is probably one of the best channel art images I've ever seen. I love your logo. So I like the whole icon. It's getting a little cropped here. Be careful for the icon. I can't quite read it. So you might want to just shrink it down a little bit so that all the words are in there. The big man in the woods looks a little funny here. I think I might put him a little bit bigger here, and then go develop skills to be a better scout leader, and get that be up here, and lose all this new vlog stuff, and just be a better scout leader. The skills you need to be a better scout leader kind of thing up there. Get the messaging up there, and then I think this kills it, because I love this campfire image. I think it's really good, and it pops really nice. I think that's a really good looking image. All right, Dee, we've been at this for a while.
Yeah, so thank you for everybody who hung out. For those of you who did get their channel pulled up, obviously we couldn't pull everyone up, but we will be answering your questions. So when this is over, if you have a question, please come back and ask your question as a comment. Daniel and I will both be coming back to answer your questions there. Thank you once again to Streamyard for sponsoring this show, for allowing us to come over and take over their channel for a couple of hours. That's mighty brave of them. Thank you for that. And of course, Daniel, thank you for doing what you do. You're always
Dee, and you, my friend, thank you for being here and offering all the solid advice you bring. It's the second Saturday of every month. We'll be here. Dee will be giving you passive advice, and I will be ripping you apart like a dog on fresh meat.
Second Saturday every month, we'll be back here doing YouTube channel reviews. And again, come back and ask your questions as comments. We'll be keeping an eye on that and answering those as well. So, Daniel, you want to take us out?
Yeah, I just want to say one more time, thank you very much to Streamyard for having us here. Thank you, everyone who hung out in the chat and gave us great questions and let us look at their channels. And we will see you all next time, guys.
Cheers.